Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's actually go in now.
Sweet.
There was no build up. No.
No build up. Straight in with a hard hitting fact.
Yep. You go straight to the point. Absolutely straight to the point. And the point is,
Straight to the point that the lobby hasn't started yet.
I kind of feel like I want to work out who Dirty Little Birdie is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was looking at him. How does he have 3,400 wins and is only like Crusader 5? Oh, Crusader 4. Sorry. He's unranked this season.
That's impressively bad.
Crusader. Yeah, he has 3,100 commands and is Crusader 4.
Have a look at his profile.
How do you even get that many commands? I'm so salty about this. This is one of the main things in Dota I'm salty about. Is everyone I look at has like 3,000 commands, like 800 commands, this, that, and the other. I have like 60. I've been playing for 6 years and 60 people have decided they like me.
He's got to be nicer to people, Gary. You've got to be nicer to people.
I don't know what the hell's happened. It's like, I look at everyone else and they're like, top on their... yeah, even you, 620 commands. Do you bribe them? Do you
I'm just a nice
wink
guy,
at them?
I'm just a nice guy.
Flutter your eyelashes? Make kissy faces?
It takes a lot of eyelash fluttering. A lot of eyelash.
Maybe that's what I'm doing wrong. Maybe I'm doing too much eyelash flicking and kissy faces.
If you go over the top, it just seems a little desperate. And then
yeah, maybe. God, do you remember the old... I'm going to say meta, the old meta of commend, please, at the end of every game.
The second the game ends, just please commend me.
Even if they played horrendously.
I don't get why people are so worked up about it. It doesn't actually achieve anything.
No.
You get nothing for commends. Except that little good feelie that you get when you...
But isn't it 2 weeks, you get your conduct report and it goes, yeah, you've had 20 commends. So, well, I obviously never get that many, but other people presumably get, yeah, I got a lot of commends.
If you got a conduct report a year, you'd probably get 20 commends.
I mean, I try my best. But at least, unlike you, I don't get those heinous abandons.
Yeah, okay. No, that's fair enough. I deserve that. I absolutely.
It's not coming up on your... Oh, no, it is. It is mine. Oh, it's just coming up as a loss, though, on mine, when I look at it.
Oh, okay. That's fine. But I'd much prefer it comes up as a loss than an abandon.
Cool. So, looking at... Oh, they seem to be in the lobby now. Yeah. But looking at their lineup before they went in, they seem to have one different from last week, roster-wise, for Trent's team.
Oh yeah, they've had to swap out because toe bags can't play. But
sweet.
I can only watch Friends live in an active matchmaking game. Oh, okay, so they've gone straight in without. I just have to watch, but not in game.
Fantastic. That's,
sometimes. Can you see?
Game?
Yeah, I was gonna say, can you see the game? You better see the game, will you?
Yep. So we will be casting 2 minutes behind.
And there's a 2 minute delay on the stream as well. So then it's a 4 minute delay.
4 minute delay. Yeah, I've just gone into watching them now.
Yeah, I've joined as well. So at least we're in. At least we still get to watch. Looks like you have to cast a spectator. Apparently you have to.
Oh, they're so dumb. Sometimes. Yeah. Well, we'll grab the next game.
Yeah, we'll actually get in the lobby next game. They're saying, oh, apparently you have to cast as a spectator, but I'm not doing that. They can let me cast as it from the lobby.
Oh well, hopefully it'll load me in, because at the moment it is not happy.
Oh, it'll probably be because it's they're in the drafting stage, so it's got to wait 2 minutes before
Fantastic. So
we've just got one of the loading screens on covering.
So we don't get to see their draft, but at least I have a nice loading screen. I'll see in a minute what you've got for yours.
Well, I think in 2 minutes it will let us watch the draft as well.
Ah. Well, I am a minute 20 into the game, so hopefully the draft will pop by then.
Hopefully.
Oh. So, have you got any ideas what they're going to be drafting? Ooh,
well,
seems to be loading in for me.
Yeah, I mentioned in the little pre-spiel that I did that they picked the techies in the scrim against us, and Anthony talked about playing it again, and it's like, well, I don't know how you can get away with the techies in competitive games unless you go battle techies, but you never know.
Yeah, I mean, it can have a big impact if they're not prepared for it draft-wise, but it's usually pants. I mean, it works against us because we're scrubs, and we haven't played properly.
Well, there was that,
in a
yeah.
while. So the first bands are coming out now. I don't know if you're in yet.
Oh yeah, I'm into them. I think it must
Fantastic.
be the same time as you as well. So all good. All good.
So we're expecting the standard bands, the really scary heroes at the moment. The Lancer, the Silencer first phase.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming.
Maybe they're kind of giving the game away if they're planning on going a hero like Anti-Mage or something. And the Broodmother.
I know Trent really hate playing against Brood, so I'm gonna.
That's fair. Broodmother sucks, although at the moment she tends to get through later on because if you pick it first phase, you just counter pick the Brood. You pick a Timber or something like that, and the Brood can't do anything. So first phase banning the Brood and hasn't really taken off lately. A Lich again.
I can only assume this is like Trent specific bans because I think they must have been looking at their
previous games
and banning.
Yeah.
And speaking of looking at previous games and banning, they specifically called out in the chat, the group chat that they're in earlier. They were like, "Oh, well, they play loads of Lions, so we need to ban that first phase."
I wonder if because they're banning the Lion, they're going to go for something like a CK or a Slug.
Well, CK was really, really popular last week in the NSC tournament. Like
he's super strong at the moment, and Lion is such a good counter for him, as the Mana Drain and the Hex both instantly destroy illusions, so it can make a big difference. However, if a CK still gets a jump on you, you're screwed either way.
Yeah, I mean, you just get blown up. I like the Wisp ban though because it's strong. If you know how.
Yeah, Gyrocopter hasn't been banned out. Tiny hasn't been banned out. Ooh, Phoenix. It's interesting to see that Spectre hasn't been banned out or Phantom Lancer either.
Oh yeah.
So, sorry, go for it.
I was going to say like both Spectre and Lancer are still really good. I know Spectre's been nerfed to almost oblivion, but she's still in the right situation.
Well, just really her innate abilities, even with the fact she's been nerfed, are extremely good against certain heroes. Stuff like Drows and things like that. Obviously, wouldn't stand a chance against a Spectre.
And Drow was really big recently as well.
I guess Drow's fallen out of the meta as well. Ogre, really stable laning hero. Gets pretty good late game as well.
It's one of the 3 heroes out of Anthony's hero puddle.
If they pick a DPS or stun hero, usually the Jug or something like that, but seeing as the Jug's been banned, a CK could equally do it in lane. The opponent will really struggle to play against them, even if it is a Phoenix. Yeah, especially if they pick a ranged hero.
I was wondering what they plan to do, because if someone's going to pick the CK surely, because like you say, it's really strong, and loads of teams have been picking it. Like last week, it was picked in like 50, 60.
As we said, the Lancer Slim.
Yeah,
Clockwork. True. It's pretty expected. It's great. You can get the rocket flare up to scout out the Phoenix for the Phoenix dive into egg, stuff like that. They haven't really got a counter for Phoenix yet, but they'll pick that up later. Undying, fantastic pick. 2 really strength-heavy heroes they're up against, so he'll be able to get his stats up and start kicking some ass.
My only concern with that at the minute would be that picking Phoenix Undying gives you 1 soft stun, if you're lucky.
Yeah. No, it's definitely rough. You'd expect to see cores now with more control. Mirana is an equal pickup for them. It might not lend itself so well with the support duo they've picked up. They really want stuff to zone the egg, stuff like Disruptor, but again, it's missing the stuns. The Drow's been banned out. It's interesting to them to have banned out the Drow, but I guess it works quite well with Clockwork.
Yeah.
And the Void's a good ban. Would have definitely screwed them with a Phoenix Egg and Tombstone in a Chrono. Could have been devastating.
Yeah, I mean, you said about they need to pick a core with control, and I think it makes sense to just ban out the Void there.
I'm curious about the second phase Ursa ban. I feel like they could counter pick an Ursa if they'd left it in the pool.
The only thing I can think of is they're worried that would be their Phoenix counter if they were going to pick it up.
Yeah. Again, no Lancer or Chaos Knight bans as of yet. We are. It's looking like they're going to pick up one of these 2.
I think someone's got to pick them up.
So who could they pick on F9 Gaming as, say, a mid or safe lane that would give them the utility they need at the moment. There's the Chaos Knight ban.
Yeah, I think it had to come.
Yeah, he would have been seriously good with the slows and control from the other two heroes. Just overwhelming them. The Chaos Knight, once he's popped his ult, he would just be able to run around and kill them one after another. If they're being slowed by, obviously if they're hit by the stun or slowed by the tombstone.
I'll be perfectly honest, I could see them picking Dragon Knight in a weird kind of way. I think you're not worried about the clock hook. It's an extra
Dragon Knight's a fairly solid mid laner. He's not bad. He doesn't have to deal with the cogs. However, he might struggle mid lane, and especially with an Undying, there would be no kill potential in this lane, and he might be fighting to stay alive if they pick a good mid laner against him.
I mean, last week they picked a Shadow Fiend, and I was almost certain they were going to get just destroyed, and somehow they came out of that with an absolute rollover.
Yeah, at this point it comes down to individual skill of players and whatnot. So, what they got? Disruptor. Yeah, fantastic. That could be equally as much a counter pick as much an actual pick themselves. It would have been seriously good on F9. It would have cleared people away from Phoenix Egg and stuff like that. It also then combos quite well with the Clockwork, allowing for further control of the enemy. Gives vision again, which will work well with the Phoenix, allowing them just to shut it off before it can dive in.
Yeah, and that or he comes in and you send him back.
And now you have a ranged hero that can be bloodlusted to get the Phoenix Egg as well.
Yeah.
So it's just, lots of little things, but they add up. It's also fairly solid in the laning stage and can get some kill potential. So now they can pick a mid laner like a DK or something like that and look to get kills because you have the nuke from not Thunder God Wrath, Storm, whatever it is, from
Thunderclap.
Disruptor, Thunderclap, and obviously the force field, the kinetic field. Just looking to buy. They'll be looking to buy 4 staffs on F9 at the moment.
Yeah, I've got to.
Trying to work out how to get away from the clock and the disruptor. Was Avenge straight in for the swaps? Someone gets their core gets Clockwork, swap them straight out.
Straight out, yeah.
Yep, and then they can immediately counter initiate on that with the Phoenix. It's a quite stable combo. They let Clockwork initiate. They counter initiate on the Clockwork by swapping out with the Venge. The Venge can sacrifice herself. It doesn't matter because the enemy team's going to rush in towards them. Phoenix dives in, gets his sun off, and Undying drops his tombstone. So you suddenly have a ton of big AoE abilities sitting in one place just because the Venge swapped them out, causing the team to move forwards.
And I can definitely see that being oh, okay.
Good stable Invoker. Invoker's always good.
I don't know who's going to play that because I know I'm Thrandir plays a lot of Invoker. He's got Dark Artistry. We wind Sam up at it all the time.
Very quick next pick, and of course the Phantom Lancer.
Yeah, you called it earlier. You called it earlier.
Yeah. Not so good versus the Disruptor, actually. I mean, it has got its Doppelganger, but Doppelganger doesn't purge Glimpse as far as I'm aware.
No, I think it's one of those that you can't get away from unless you're casting it at the exact time that
Yeah, like you could physically dodge it by like Manta dodging something, but I don't imagine you could. I say like Manta dodging, I mean as if when you're removed from the game for long enough to avoid the ability. So the last bans are TA. That's probably a fairly solid ban. Because they're going to be wanting to get stacks for both Phantom Lancer and TA and another hero like TA though to do it. However, to get stacks would mean that the Undying or the Venge would have to be out of lane for a while, which would be unusual. So bit of an iffy ban, but it could on its principles do a lot of damage to the team if they played it right. They do have Ignite, however, which is really good versus the refraction charges. They have a lot of stuff like Clockwork's pretty good, and especially Ogre.
Yeah, I think the Ogre burn is just so good against refraction that it's probably a waste of ban.
Sven. I wonder why they banned Sven and not Tiny.
Yeah, I think Tiny's a lot more used recently. I don't.
Yeah, especially with the Tiny Ogre combo.
Are they worried about? Do they want some?
The Tiny Ogre combo allows the the Tiny to transition a lot more quickly from Magic Nuka into a physical DPS.
Are they worried about what, extra armor, or I don't really know what they're.
Maybe, but they're not very physical damaging at the moment. They actually need a lot of damage, F9. They're really low on damage. They're putting it all on PL's shoulders, and PL's only going to be able to deal with people one at a time.
I wonder if they pull out a mid PA maybe, or.
I mean, PA struggles very badly without a BKB against these guys. If you put a PA mid versus an Invoker, she'll win for the first 5 minutes. As soon as Invoker gets his combos up, she dies 3 times in a row mid, and they haven't got enough support to just TP in and save it unless it's a TP swap. But that's that takes that relies on the supports already being level 6. If I were them, looking at a mid hero versus these lot, I mean, hasn't been picked up a lot lately, but something like a Quap or a high DPS hero could be quite good. Yeah, Tinker, perfect. Sit at the back line, marching machines, just combos in well with the counter to the Clockwork Initiation.
And all
however, again, it's more of a single target pick off, move on to the next kind of hero. So they might struggle to clear the entire enemy team in fights if they go items like Pipe and Mech on Trent.
It does explain the Sven ban though, because the Stormhammer Dispel talent would mean that he can still burst the Tinker.
Yeah. Okay, now it's just to see the first position for Trent. Have you got any ideas?
I don't know. I thought they were going to try and pick up the CK rather than ban it out. So to be perfectly honest, I'm not really sure what they go for. You need to.
Well, I'd like to see. Well, they should have enough to deal with the Sun, hopefully. But something like a Terrorblade would do quite well here because it works in for the Sun. It gives them range for the Undying. Gyrocopter, they are a ranged right clicker, gives them good against the Phoenix, good against Undying, Tombstone. Gyrocopter will allow them to flat cannon off the Phantom Lancer. The only problem they've got to look out for is Gyrocopter has to get a BKB.
Yeah.
Because otherwise he'll just get swapped in and immediately eaten by the Phantom Lancer, or he'll get, most importantly, lasered by the Tinker. And that'll just be game for them. Yeah, there's a lot of relying on the Invoker in this game.
And John's Invoker is good. It is really good. I mean, you don't drop like £200 on a set just to.
No, and Invoker should have a fairly good time here because Cogs and Kinetic Field both fantastic with Invoker.
Yeah.
Just give you so much control to set up for those abilities.
So
same with cooldown if you can land it properly.
So, yeah,
but that's a bit more intricate than the kind of instant cast Kinetic Fields and Clogs.
We could definitely see the Invoker coming strongly. We joked about this last week, but again, Trent with three heroes that have absolutely no levels in their battle passes for and against like level 11s, level So big old whiff of the Sunstrike. So I will go around and do.
Invoker will have to go extort this this game, so he can get his Forge Spirit for laning phase. Because without a Forge Spirit for laning phase, he's really going to struggle against the Tinker. Because he'll just get lasered and he won't get any of his last hits. He's completely reliant on this Forge Spirit. So if they can get ganks from the supports, even if they just take out the Forge Spirit and put it on cooldown for 20 seconds or something, that's 20 seconds that the Invoker won't be able to last hit him. So it's going to be really important.
And he's going at first level exalt, and yeah, Hagon the Tango's over. So it is I'm with Randir on the Invoker for the Dire for Trent. You've got 7734 on the Disruptor. You've got Zarlok on the Ogre. You've got Acronym on the Gyrocopter. And you've got Never Go Full Chris on the Clockwork. And then for the Radiant side, you've got Lotus on the PL. You've got Hayden G on the Vengeful Spirit. You've got Coco Pops playing the Tinker. And already pushing into the top, you've got Lemiza, and I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. Already getting
this
gone
fight
on.
Going on top, looks like First Blood's going to drop. Ooh, the Sunstrike coming out.
Sunstrike. Have they got the damage to finish him off? Is there another stun?
No, he's got another. Oh, interesting choice. No, First Blood easily drawn by Trent, and 2 runes going, 3. 2 runes each.
Yeah.
Something to note, both mid players have the exact same items in exactly the same slots, which is kind of creepy. Oh no, my Tinker has used his ward, whereas Invoker has not yet. Where did he drop it? Just mid to try and prevent the ganks. Clearly scared of the early Destructor kinetic field.
Yeah, don't want to get caught out of position.
Yep. So bot lane, it's going to be solo Chris versus solo the Tinker. Not Tinker, Clockwork versus the Lancer and the Venge. And top is going to be a more even Ogre and Gyro versus Phoenix and Undying. Oh, sorry, Disruptor is also in for Trent's side. Yeah. So it's a tri-lane versus dual lane off lane. I think they're going to struggle in the off lane here because the Ogre is just so strong. However, this Ogre really needs to be a lot more aggressive. He's also not throwing his ignite. Very interesting.
He's running and bonking the Undying, but nothing else. And you kind of need to slow him down, get him burning, do some damage. You know.
The early laser on Tinker is really showing how unfavourable this this matchup is mid. Yeah. That early laser is just absolutely dominating. You know, he's got 3 times the amount of last hits. I know it's early, but it's 7-2 last hits. There are. First thing level 2 gets his Forge Spirit out so he can last hit.
Yeah, he absolutely had to because, like I said, the laser that mischance is just so annoying to last it into. Like it's probably one of my least favourite matchups Tinker against anything, just because it's so annoying to last it into the Tinker laser.
Yeah, you don't want to last hit a right click last hit. Oh, they're diving under tier 1 bot. Clockwork's gone right into the trees, dropped to about 8 HP. Vengeful is tanking the tower hits. Looks like she's going to die to creeps.
Chris gets it, yeah. Chris gets it.
Oh, that is a overzealous Venge there. She'll definitely be feeling that. Her team will not be happy.
Yeah,
but even through all that, Clockwork was pushed all the way back to his tower. He was getting no XP.
It's a level, but it's not
free
a lot,
to get everything. Oh, top, there's fights going on. Undying has already fallen to a Sunstrike by the looks of it. And Icarus dive out. Lives just about, but there was a phenomenal Sunstrike with the control from the two support heroes. Easily gets the Undying.
Oh, it's all going on.
And unfortunately, to pay for that, Tinker does get Invoker mid.
It just lays them down, got the ball out, and like you said, really taken over that lane now. I mean, you look at last hits, the Invoker is on 4 to the Tinker's 14. It's he's relying on the Forge Spirit to last it.
It's such a difficult matchup for the first few minutes. However, with the first night time, you'll be expecting at least the Disruptor to come try and get a kill mid. The Invoker by then should have some more damaging abilities. You see, he's got Cold Snap queued up, preparing to hopefully with the night time make a play. But look at this top. With this tri-lane they're running, I'm so surprised that they're being pushed back so far. This Undying is just landing so many large decays on people, just ripping so much strength. And again, bot, I'm surprised that Clockwork's even able to stay around bot.
The Venge has to be scared because normally when the Venge would wrap round and start lasting, exactly what I'm about to say, you see him go around and harass. Chris here can just battery assault and run it down. So you can't go too far, and he might even get the kill here.
Unfortunately, bad misuse of stuns and abilities. But the Clock, he's getting overzealous. He is totally dead here.
Yeah, he just
this Venge is a ranged hero, and they have higher movement speed than him. There's 3 things you got to be wary of in the laning stage: movement speed, health regen, and damage. Clockwork had the damage, he had the health regen, but he did not have the movement speed. The Venge was far faster, and the fact he's range allowed him easily to strafe.
And you call it the first night,
people
bring down
nighttime supports are coming mid. Here we go. And the ward placed at minute 1 by Tinker, easily spotting them out, and he just heads home. He's done. He realizes this is not a good play for him. Oh wow, they're going try hard with the
that's a very deep
with Chris mid. Ooh, TP's back top. Looking for a kill. Is Sunstrike on? Sunstrike's being used already, so there won't be a Sunstrike to aid this.
Yeah, and the
Tombstone was used.
Again, the
once again,
the Invoker.
Yeah.
It's he's trying to help out the other lanes, so he needs to concentrate on his own.
It's 22 to 14, 23 to 14. And even worse than that, Lancer has 24 to the 15 on Gyrocopter.
Yes, the tri-lane really not paying off.
This tri-lane has really, really not done what it should have. They would have been much better off if they'd sent Disruptor to go and find things to do, go and do his best to harass the Tinker.
Yeah, give the PL some more trouble. Just do something more than what he's doing at the minute, because at the minute he's not quite achieving enough with the 2 extra heroes up here. Right?
Invoker goes in on the Tinker mid, pops his Cold Snap, hits him twice, and Tinker just lasers, and there's nothing the Invoker can do without his Forge Spirit up.
And the PL is now just casually farming the cogs.
See, this is a big misplay by Trent here. These 2 supports in this tri-lane top, they need to be wrapping behind. They need to have a ward in lane so they can see when the creeps are coming, and they need to be constantly behind the enemy heroes, because the idea is that Gyrocopter will push them away from the creep wave, and then the supports will come in and stop them from getting any further back.
They've got on the Undying, and yeah,
fantastic work. Easily get Undying.
The rocket burst is
again, they're just going to move back and stand to the side now. They should be blocking this lane, stopping this Phoenix from getting anywhere near the creep wave, because they've just given free reign for the Phoenix to come back in and get all this XP coming in.
And both supports as well rotating off the lane. Like one stay,
this
one push the Phoenix
major
away,
misplays.
One go at the jungle. They're going to try and go around them again, but run straight into the Undying and even lose a clarity for it, and a double hit decay. So he has sort of 8 strength off 1 decay, and he's just come back with like just regen. I know he's not got a lot, but they're going to try and go for it.
Going on him again, they need to focus the Tombstone.
Yeah, they can just run
they've got it.
now.
That's a big ability down for, 80 seconds. It's and it's a lot of gold as well to the person who gets it. I think the Gyrocopter got it.
Yeah, I think it's 200, isn't it?
And mid is just getting worse and worse. The Tinker getting more and more control. It's so difficult for the Invoker to play into this. 2-level difference now.
And
Invoker isn't even close to getting level 7, and
20 losses.
Tinker's nearly level 9.
It just lasers him away, and when he's not got the Forge Spirit queued up,
Lancer's practically free farming. He's starting on his defusal now. You'll expect to see that. Ooh. Fantastic. Yep, the supports come in. Unfortunately, Invoker looks like he's going to go down. He hasn't got Ghost Walk.
He tries to slow, but it's not enough.
Ogre may be able to help out. No, he's decided he doesn't want to. Doesn't fancy it.
Yeah, and he can't trade back. There's nothing.
No, he hasn't got any regen on him, so any damage he takes there. Ooh, they look like they're going to be trying to go on top. Glimpse back. Kinetic field, maybe a bit premature, but doesn't seem to matter. He goes down. Easy peasies. They see the Phoenix. Are they going to go for any more, or are they just going to back up and play safe?
I think it'll be another safe step from Trainer. Like you said, they've been a bit passive in this lane. They're getting kills out of it, which is good, but they kind of need to turn that into good positions.
Mm-hmm. They seem to get it when the enemy overreaches, which is difficult for the enemy to see, I suppose, because they're not putting pressure on. It's this kind of bait going on that they're not
go on the PL
showing the enemy where the boundaries are, so they do end up overstepping them, which gets them kills.
Juxtapose does done huge damage to Chris there. Like tries to trap the PL under the tower, tries to just put battery assault him, and there's just too many PL illusions.
Yeah, this PL is seriously big. He's got maxed out Phantom Rush. That's plus 22. Sorry, he's got 3 stacks in Phantom Rush. So that's plus 22 agi when he's
gone down, and Disruptor top just burns down to the Phoenix.
Yeah, and this is all just because of lack of dominance in laning. I understand that the Undying is getting serious stacks on Decay, but it's still only level 1, just purely for the stat gain. If they were to say focus on the Phoenix or control the Undying, just pure through pure presence of lane and being present of mind where you are in respect to your allies.
But it's just as soon as they move a hero off the top lane, they know that one support's not going to be aggressive at them, and they can get kills, and they go for it. It's not.
It's horrible, and because of this tri-lane that's been going on, and the fact the supports have just been sitting next to the carry as opposed to trying to push the enemies out of the lane, Gyro isn't even level 6. He's just about to hit 6 now, but at the same time, Undying is just hitting 6, and Phoenix is about to hit 7. I'm a bit intrigued by this this ward they placed behind tower mid. They placed it presumably to scout out any TPs in if they were to go for a play mid. as far as I'm aware, they've gone for a single kill since then, but I don't think it was relevant
Nice
to the ward. Chris just makes it out to the Phoenix. Went for the rune.
Cooldown goes down, tombstone to counter, stun coming over, and they burst the Undying.
But they need that tombstone down.
And Tinker's come round as well, and they
this could be bad. This is very bad. It's all over. It's all ogre.
And here comes the body box for the ogre.
He's going. Not really sure.
Doesn't know whether to go up or down.
He's trying to work down now, and he's going to run towards the Invoker. He needs to get his TP out, but at the moment it looks like the best bet's just to deny to Roche. However, he might be a bit too high because Phoenix can just nuke now.
Yeah. The laser
is
just
a double kill to the Tinker. Tinker has just got his BTs. That is a very good timing, an 11-minute BTs.
And a kill
this is suddenly going to dominate their safe lane. Gyrocopters no longer can have anywhere safe to farm. Ooh, Disruptor has come mid. Try and make a play. Unfortunately, with the amount of vision... Ooh, they have cleared it, though. The amount of vision Tinker had, this play probably isn't going to make much.
Yeah, he's going to struggle to
get around. Nuke out the waves, and then TP home and do it again elsewhere.
And having already got bots, like you said, he can just... He doesn't really
However,
scared.
Clockwork is coming mid with his ulti. The Disruptor Kinetic Field comes out. Clockwork's in. He's got his stuns out. Sunstrike.
Sunstrike is perfect, yeah.
Fantastic. However, a 4-man rotation, so now they're really being pressured in top. You know, the Phoenix is creep skipping. The Undying has, is just punching the tower. And the same's happening bot. They're going to lose both top and bot towers for that. And they don't seem to know what to do. They after that kill mid, they seem to have just dispersed. It's only the Invoker pushing mid now.
And it was a bit late, really, to if you're going to commit a 4-man rotation onto the Tinker there, you kind of want to do it before he's got his travels. You've got to do it...
Yeah, do it before he has his BTs, shut down his farm. Do it whilst you have that that ward behind tower to see to monitor TPs in. It just seems a bit disjointed. They're trying to get their ideas together. A smoke's coming out, going bot. Invoker was not caught in it, but looks like he's just going back to lane. So it's the two supports. They've encountered the Venge. Venge stunning, getting slow.
Kinetic comes out, he's
coming up, but Phantom Lance is right here. Clockwork is coming though. Ooh, if they get the Phantom Lancer here, this is going to be big. This is going to be really big.
Not too many illusions.
And if Ogre lives, this is fantastic.
And
Ogre dies, but this is still well worth it.
That's a double kill on Chris. The battery assault there somehow
Phoenix
just
might be here to clean it up. He hasn't got his Sunray though, but Phoenix is... He kills Clock easily with his burn.
Yeah, the Venge illusion had enough damage onto him, and then a little bit of burn damage.
The kill on the Phantom Lancer would have been really, really important because the Phantom Lancer hasn't been involved in many kills. It's been primarily just farming, and that's that's one of the sources for unreliable gold.
Turning a gank top here onto the gyro. The Tinker TP's in after the gyro tries to go on the Undying, and now the Tinker's here. He gets
this could be bad mid. Phoenix is looking to use his sun, but just gets glimpsed back. He didn't want to commit his... Oh, nice from the Invoker. Oh, the sun comes out, and he's hit with the burning the Fire Spirit, so he can't kill the sun.
And now the PL can dive on him. Just goes.
Yeah, Invoker has to go.
Meanwhile, top. They're going on the Tinker. Chris has battery assaulted him, and they get a double kill top. So they try.
Fantastic.
They try and gank the Undying, or try and solo kill the Undying on the gyro, and the Tinker TP's in to defend him, and Trent managed to turn it around.
Yeah, the gyro's been really safe. I quite like this from his item builds. He's just slowly amping up. He knows that he's behind, and he needs these early team fight items. This drum, and especially this early bracer is phenomenal. You get the extra armor from the Aquila and the bracer. It just makes him so tanky. He has 14 armor. You look at his health, and he's only got 900, and you go, oh, it's not amazing or this, that, and the other, but that 14 armor really makes a difference, especially when you're up against heroes like this Undying, who will just steal your strength and make it hard for you. However, it looks like he's going to be dead here. What he needs
he's got speed and he can stun away, but he can't quite escape the burn. You can't escape fire.
No, a very cheap item against these two heroes that don't have a stun would be a TP.
They're surrounding the Tinker here. If they've got space, they can go for this.
They were waiting for the Hookshot to come off cooldown. Hookshot goes in. He's right under tower. Can he survive? They've got the laser off onto him easily with the Sunstrike.
And it hurts when you see something like that happening. When you see the Tinker just constantly trying to laser the clock, and just every halfway through the animation, just the battery assault, just nope.
And that has got Clock his Blade Mail, which will make a massive difference against the Tinker just standing in marching machines and everything else. That is a diffusal blade on Phantom Lancer, however. And look at this map at the moment. There are 5 of Trent heroes in one space, just trying to get this Phantom Lancer. And they just don't seem to realize the Phantom Lancer's positioning. They just decide to play it safe. They're not sure where anyone else is, but there were 3 of F9's team in their jungle.
And
if they'd known that, they would have easily gone on the Lancer there. No question.
Tinker now just farming up the jungle.
Yep. Tinker can just ramp now. You can get so powerful. But looking at the CS, this is scary. The Tinker is second on CS with 64. However, the Lancer is leading with 110.
The Lancer
the Gyrocopter has
combined.
Under half of Phantom Lancer's CS.
Yeah, more than combined.
Now that doesn't necessarily lead to net worth, as he's got a lot more kills. But if I look at net worth, yeah, Gyrocopter has just over half. No, a bit over half. Phantom Lancer's net worth. This is scary. Oh, they're looking for an engagement top, 5v5. The map is clear. I'm surprised Tinker isn't elsewhere trying to...
yeah, you kind of want to abuse it.
He's going in bottom.
Yeah, he just pushed out and...
And Lancer's just going to sit here and hit the tower.
Tinker. Oh, what a hook! The barrier assault cancels the TP and the Sunstrike.
With the Sunstrike in.
Tinker. They go in now, they're going to focus the egg. They haven't got enough.
They've worked out how to deal with it. Oh, Egg's coming down. Ogre's stunned by Egg. Gyrocopter's just being ripped apart by this single target DPS from Phantom Lancer. And Invoker is just forced to run. Nothing he can do. And its clock just wasn't there for the counter-initiate. They jumped in, they dropped all their abilities, but the Sun was just there. They took out the Disruptor very early in the fight. There was nothing he could do, to stop the Sun. And by that point, by the time the Sun was dropped, Invoker had to run. There was no way he was going to be able to destroy that Sun, which just left the Ogre and the Gyrocopter just be eaten alive.
That's it.
So back to the standard motions of things, trying to push out slowly.
The hook on the Tinker was fantastic. Like the kill to get him was brilliant. But
yeah, that was big. Stopping the Tinker coming in, stopping him controlling up the fight, because Gyrocopter hasn't got his BKB yet, and by looks of it, he's not even considering getting it soon. So if Tinker had been in that fight, Gyrocopter would have had even more of a hard time. But Phantom Lancer just sat on him, sat through the flat cannon, sat through the rocket barrage. He just didn't care. He got fairly low, the Phantom Lancer, but he just 1v1'd the core just because he has almost.
Oh, big tornado, the meatball, and he's.
Oh, he jumps forwards, but he just gets hit by it, not saving his doppelganger.
The clock comes in and takes out the Phoenix. Clock him deep. He's picked the Phoenix off.
There's no Sun. There's no clock. No Phoenix.
And here comes the Gyro now to clean up. The PL's been doing work on.
The strength on this Phantom Lancer. He's so low and he's still just dominating.
Gyro runs in, tries to take out the Venge. She's caught on the tower. She's getting hit by the battery assault. Gets cogsed in, and Chris ignores the Venge.
But it's not going to save her.
Yeah, Chris ignores the Venge and goes for the.
They're going to be running. Phantom Lancer's looking to turn, but he's so low. But there's no flat cannon left anymore. Oh,
and a huge thunderclap kills them both. So somehow
that is over 1,000 gold to the Disruptor for that. That's got to feel good as a support. That's his Aether Lens and for some reason a wand that he's got queued up.
Yeah, what?
Not quite sure on that one, but yeah.
And the only downside, I suppose, from Trent's point of view, there is you lose all your cores. I mean,
yeah,
you're so happy to take a fight.
Cores aren't getting the farm. So Lancer went way too risky there, feeling very cocky. He did buy out before dying, no, so that'll make a big difference. He decided, Gyrocopter doesn't have his flat cannon anymore. I can go back in. I do enough damage. I can take him down quickly, and he did do a serious amount of damage. You saw how quickly he melted.
But the thunderclap just does so much to all of the illusions that he couldn't stay close, and it's good positioning.
The thunderclap and the rocket from Clockwork, the rocket flare.
Tinker cancels a TP.
So Tinker's just scared to push out lanes at the moment because he knows as soon as he shows, this Clockwork is going to be on his ass with a hook shot.
Yeah, and he's not leaving
him
alone.
As you see, Clockwork shows top, and immediately, Tinker shows top, and immediately Clockwork starts just running up top. It's just, some obscene bully. Oh, and he disappeared, and he's reappeared back top, and hopefully Clock will turn right back and go hunt him down.
Looks like
But again, they seem to be grouping up quite a lot, Trent, and they're leaving this Invoker by himself to farm jungle. This could be a real problem if the enemy picked up on this, got some wards out in the jungle.
And they need to, oh, well, they've caught the Venge out.
Hook goes out bot onto Venge, preventing the swap out.
And just constantly stun locked by the battery assault. Damage comes out.
Yep.
Tinker's come in.
Tinker is in this fight, however. This could be the big difference.
Gyro just focusing and he heals the tombstone. Out comes the stun to protect the tomb, and this is going to be big.
This is going to be everyone dead.
3 onto the Phoenix.
That's the power of the tombstone. It's ridiculous. They just don't have high enough attack speed, and especially with the laser coming up.
And not only that, tombstone on top of sun, or sun on top of tombstone, and they just don't want to fight into it. They want to go. They want to focus one. They want to focus the other. They've got to do the tombstone first, and they can't take the sun out. So, Trent were doing well taking fights. They'd taken some really good fights, but the farm advantage paying off, and that combination, and the
Invoker is going down.
Oh. No detection, and
just
Ghost walks away.
Uncharacteristic misplay by those two. You would have thought one of them would be at least carrying detection. But well, you live and learn. Phantom Lancer also preemptively used Doppelganger, thus being hit by the tornado and whatnot.
And he's already made it to Yasha, and he's very, very nearly at orb already.
There's a big play onto Phantom Lancer. He dodges the glimpse. And wow, just with that alone, the Trent is forced backwards. They're going to lose this tower. It is denied. That's good.
Great
but you look top, and Clock's pushing out top. That'll, they're slowly just getting crushed. They're now down to a third of the map under their control. Half of the creep camps in their jungle lost to them.
Oh,
the hook shot comes out and misses on the clockwork.
Half an inch. And Chris even gives it a BM in the chat. Well, not even a BM, but
Phantom Lancer's now got his Manta, so that's a double dispel. So now even if he does mess up his Doppelganger and get hit or something like that, he can still get rid of the disarm. He can get rid of the dots. He can really do a lot.
And trapped in the cogs, you drop your Manta, and you don't really mind that much about the battery assault because only hitting you 1 in 3 times.
Yeah.
Looks like a fight wants to go off mid. Undying pushes forward, double man decay, and
this DD damage has come at the worst time. This team is just looking to oh, that was an interesting doppelganger. Is he going to man to dodge it? He did, but he failed.
Didn't.
Oh. But look, just the power of this Tinker. They are pushing in top. There are creeps hitting the tier 3 high ground, and there are 5 Trent heroes just sitting behind their tier 2.
Oh, the tornado catches no one.
And the same bot. As they're sitting there pinned trying to defend this tower, Tinker is just pushing in both the side lanes. He's now pushing in high ground top. Invoker has gone back to do this, so this could be an awful fight for Trent. There is no Invoker for this fight. There is no counter to the Sun. There is no counter to the Tombstone. And they just see it and have to leave.
They just
do manage to hold out, but
they're just forcing them out of the space so they can take the objectives. And it becomes a little more difficult when you're trying to push into the high ground. But with the farm advantage they've got, it doesn't matter that much.
With the lanes so pushed in now, that they're high ground on all lanes, is the perfect time to go Roche. They've clearly practiced this bit. The Tinker's pushed in all the side lanes, so there's no threat to them at all. Even if the whole team starts pushing one lane really, really hard now, they'll easily get back in time to defend it. There's no pressure on them for this at the moment, and Trent doesn't even know. They're just trying to get some space out. Oh, here comes the rocket flare.
They check it.
They now know Roche is half dead, but I think he's going to be dead by the time they get in.
I think Clock is going for the hook.
Is he going to hook shot straight in? He hasn't got hook shot for 5 seconds. He's not going to make it. He's going to rocket flare again, and it's gone. Oh, he got it! Phantom Lancer was too slow.
And now's the time to follow up. They're going to go in for the... Lance comes onto the supports. Tinker just stands at the back and just rockets them away. In comes the Lancer again, bursts the Disruptor down. Meatball comes out.
Meatball though. But again, Phantom Lancer just mantas and avoids half the damage.
In comes the
Gyro,
doesn't have the damage, going to get lasered.
Trying to make a difference, but look how much damage he takes.
And the Sunstrike takes out the Undying, but they just don't have enough to kill anyone else.
Look at the heroes running back to well. Just...
The PL can just get on top of them and just push them back.
Gyrocopter just went down from 1500 to 300 health. I don't even know what hit him. it must have been a rocket and a lance at the same time from Phantom Lancer or something like that. But he just melted.
And you mentioned it in the draft, but the amount of magic damage on the side of F9 Gaming, there's no pipe. No one's gonna pipe.
Yeah, if they'd bought those key sustain items on their cores, they'd considered the pipe, the mech. People tend to forget about them in this kind of game. But they're so important because all their magic is quite localized. It's like a single target. Being able to put a shield on everyone means if they do spread that damage, it's not going to do as much. They haven't got these wide ultis that can just take down everything.
The only thing I would say is that off of that fight, at least Trent lost no one and managed to pick up a kill, but they don't want to get caught out on this Invoker here. He's really far forward, and the PL can just sort of stand near him and threaten him away.
Yeah, this is looking very rough for Trent. It's a 12k net worth difference. The Phoenix goes straight in, drops the egg, really ballsy egg, but Invoker's having to run. He's been hit by Fire Spirits. Everyone just immediately backs.
And they've got the vision for him, and they've got the damage.
And Invoker goes down to the massive amount of rockets coming out from the Tinker. Just jump forwards and rocket spam. The Disruptor's running around on 100 HP purely from the rockets. Clockwork's trying his best to make up the difference. He's got Aegis. He's going to use it. But now it's 4v5. You know,
and it's no blade mail on the clock. The
Everyone's down.
Gone.
Oh, Invoker uses his combo on illusions.
Oh,
the Invoker's just melting to the Tinker on the backline, just spamming missiles. They don't have BKBs on their cores, and Gyrocopter is still going for an SNY. He needed his first item to be a BKB. There was no doubt about that this game.
They've just
apart from in his mind, apparently.
They've just area denialed Trent away from the objectives. They don't have to win the fights as long as they can push them away.
And even whilst they're doing this, Clockwork is mid, he's top, he's pushing in all this lane, so even if they do get pushed out like they have now, they now have access to the shrines, they have all of the lanes pushed in, so they can push up whenever they want, and they're just controlling the map. Another hookshot comes in onto Undying.
They've got the burst on the Sunstrike misses, he's got no mana, he can't get away with the Tinker, he's going to stand on the high ground.
Clockwork straight back into it. You know, rearm missiles. He's coming straight in, look at that damage!
And then the Lance just finished off the Ogre.
That 5-man wipe, dieback on Invoker.
Dieback on Gyro as well.
This is a rough time. But because the PL is their only DPS, it's taking a while to push. They've got a massive amount of control due to this Tinker. But without the creeps hitting the towers as well, their DPS is quite lackluster. I think they need to get something like a butterfly on the PL.
I don't think they're that worried about it because they can just keep them away while they push, so while it does take a long time, they don't have to worry about dying while they're doing it because they can't get close enough to stop them from pushing.
Yeah, and through all that fighting, Phoenix ulti and stuff like that is now back off cooldown. It is ready to annihilate once again. So watch, the Phoenix backs off, backs down the hill in case someone on the high ground gets gone on, and as soon as there's a sign of danger, it's just Phoenix diving into his ulti, gets his Shiva's guard off. That's a massive AoE reduction in attack speed. If he gets any spirits off, it's just no hope of destroying this sun.
It's just even more area denial. They just
cool down to try and destroy as many of the illusions as possible. But even with this, they've on the backline. Chris has gone in. It's only Phantom Lancer on the high ground, and the team just doesn't seem to be reacting to it. They're zoned the whole enemy team, 4 of them for 5-6 seconds, and the other 4 on Trent were confused by 2 Manta illusions by Phantom Lancer. That was their chance. There may not be much hope from now on. This is megas if they get these. Jumping back in on Phoenix, there isn't any stun anymore, but they're just getting slowly burnt down. It's just spirit burns, it's missiles from the... this is... Tinker's back, they're all dead to missiles.
They can't get close enough. They just can't get close enough to stop them.
Scary. And Tinker's going to blink in, he's going to laser the Gyrocopter because there's no BKB. Team wipe. Wow, that was a hell of a game. It just scaled and scaled. They got some control back against the Tinker early on when the Clockwork got big, but they just didn't have any answer. They needed those BKBs. They needed that control. that pipe would have done wonders there. You know, imagine if you'd be able to block the first 2 missiles from the Tinker to come off in every fight.
Yeah, because you can actually get... Because this is the thing, they weren't lacking damage. They weren't lacking the ability to kill the F9 heroes. It wasn't a problem with not being able to team fight. It was a problem with not being able to get close enough to team fight.
But that says it all. Phoenix had more gold than both the first and second position of Trent's team. Phantom Lancer had more than the first and second position combined.
Yeah, it was just a slow grind, and
Actually,
they pushed it out.
About 20 gold less, but
I mean, up until 20 minutes, Trent was still very much in it. You know.
Oh yeah, for absolute sure. When the Clockwork managed to turn it around, I'm sure the graphs will agree. It started to swing back. At around 15 minutes, there was a swing back towards Trent, but what happened at 23 minutes? Clearly, something monumental happened.
So the Roche play, was it?
Probably, yeah. That was the big movement where they kept. No, that was when Clockwork got Tinker bottom, but they still lost the team fight top.
Yeah.
It was just that big play. It was good for Trent to isolate Tinker from that fight, but by completely removing Clockwork, who was arguably the most powerful hero on their team at that time, made a big difference. So net worth wise, the only person with higher net worth was Invoker at that time. At that time, Clockwork had more net worth than Gyrocopter. But again, you look at the levels and they show the same story. Tinker ending 22, Invoker ending 15. It was just a dominating laning stage from everyone.
Yeah, and again, it's a case of Trent just couldn't quite do enough with what they had. And like you said, I felt like a pipe would have made a massive difference. They needed a way of almost isolating one hero that wasn't the Tinker and picking them off and pushing them away, because they couldn't stop F9 from coming at them, no matter what they did. You know, they picked off the Undying in one of those fights, had 5v4, and still couldn't stop them. Yeah, because they had no answer for
the Tombstone and the Sun. They had enough answer for one each, but they didn't have enough for the two of them. I was hoping that the flat cannon last pick on the Gyrocopter would be enough to make that difference, especially with the Bloodlust. But the fact that every fight began with the Invoker having to run away or being zoned just meant that there was no hope in that front.
I'm gonna.
Do we have their lobby that we can jump into?
I'll have a look. Let me just see if they're
before they abandon us once again.
Let me just send them a message to the old Chris.
Sorry if you can hear the scraping in the background. That is my dog. She's not very happy that I've locked her out.
Oh.
Well, or it's the person I've trapped in my basement. But I'll leave it to you to decide.
Yeah, and if so, they should be grateful for the fact that you're feeding them constantly.
Yeah, it costs a lot to feed them. Come on.
Exactly. I'm gonna put it on a short break. I'm gonna come back in about 5-10 minutes when we should have the second game for Trent this evening. And hopefully we'll see them do the same as they did last week and come off of a loss with a win.
Hopefully so.
But yeah, we'll be back in 5 minutes, so guys.
See you.
Just do it.
All right, to get things started, I want to give you, give me your battle roar.
It's fate. Let's see what I hit, and we'll know the truth.
What can I say? Yeah, it's really hard to become like me.
Just do it.
Alright, to get things started, I want to give me your battle roar.
It's fate. Let's see what I hit, and we'll know the truth.
What can I say? Yeah, it's really hard to become like me.
Just do it.
Alright, to get things started, I want to give me your battle roar.
It's fate. Let's see what I hit, and we'll know the truth.
What can I say? Yeah, it's really hard to become like me.
Just do it.
Alright, to get things started, I want to give you give me your battle roar.
Magic, so that is live again.
Fantastic.
That doesn't look like you're peaking nearly as bad. I will just turn you down just a touch so it just stays in the green area. I think
Just a tad.
that should have it spot on.
Fantastic. I'll leave it at that then, and we'll see what Twitch says to my horribly peaking microphone.
We should be a little
Apparently, it was better
this
than last week's, though.
Last
Twitch
week's
said.
it was really, really quiet and you just couldn't hear George. So
Well, who wanted to anyway?
just don't need to hear people, do you? Yeah, what do you
I'm
want
joking,
to
of
hear,
course.
George? But no, apparently it is in the rules for the tournament that then there's people are supposed to watch through Dota TV rather than through the lobby. So we'll just have to watch that way. But
Okay, fair enough.
never mind.
Yeah, it's only 2 minutes. It's a bit unusual, but we'll have to deal with it. I remember, I don't think anyone has slammed Anthony or Chris for dying yet.
No, we haven't had a single goblin or feels bad man in the chat yet. So
Yeah. Remember, guys, feels bad man or goblins. Get it right.
if Chris
Get it
dies,
going.
if Chris dies, feels bad man. I want to see that slam straight into the chat and you win yourself a keyring. And goblin if Anthony dies and you get yourself a keyring as well.
And they look freaking awesome.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. Dobby made them myself. So
They look really good.
you can get yourself a little keyring and yeah, it'll be just for BMing Chris and Anthony. What you're going to do it anyway. You might as well.
Yeah, they were definitely lacking last game. Although, was it Chris on the Clockwork?
Yeah.
He was fairly solid last game. He was definitely one of the stronger players on Trent, but that may just be down to the draft. However, the support duo that caused the lane to the tri lane to struggle a bit. Maybe it wasn't down to the draft. Maybe that was
more just
mistaken play.
Yeah, more just the way they set their lanes up, and I mean, you could perhaps say that the Invoker versus the Tinker was something they perhaps could have dodged, but
yeah, it was a last pick Tinker.
Yeah,
and I definitely agree with the earlier picks of Invoker, and they definitely had answers to it in the Clockwork and stuff like that, but then they didn't itemize to support it.
Yeah.
And that compounded with the fact that they struggled so much in this tri-lane with two of the strongest laning supports you can possibly get, really, really just compounded it to make it all the worse. Because if the Ogre had got enough farm to get a pipe, or even if one of the cores had gone pipe, if Clock had gone blade mail pipe, that would have made such a difference.
It would have actually let them get at the team fights, and they didn't have a problem winning the team fights. They just had to get to the team fights without dying.
Yeah. At the end of the game, they had massive amounts of vision just because of how they were playing the game, and Tinker just sat at the back and just spammed his abilities because there were PL illusions and phoenixes, and just the Undying could just walk forwards and get vision for the Tinker. And the Tinker would just sit there and spam rockets back to well, back forward, spam rockets. And I think it was something like 3 or 4 rockets would just kill even Ogre late game. Just because they didn't have that form of defense against it. Glimmer Cape would have again been a really, really good item. As we saw, they weren't carrying that detection. It would have been amazing if a support had picked it up, saved the Gyrocopter in a fight, let the Gyrocopter then reinitiate once he has flat cannon, once he has that ability to deal with the Phantom Lancer.
Get him into the thick of the fights. That's what you have to do.
And just keep him there, because he would go in, he would use his flat cannon, he would use his rocket barrage, and then he would just be overwhelmed. If he didn't kill the Phantom Lancer in that first hit, if he didn't have the support from the Disruptor or something like that, the Phantom Lancer would just run on him, and then he's single target right clicking a Phantom Lancer, and it's most likely going to just be an illusion.
Yeah, and that's not how you win team fights, unfortunately.
No, and if you do find the right one, it's doppelganger or it's manta style,
And he's
then
away.
you have to try and find him again.
Yeah. Just look at the fixtures. So they've got the teams they could be playing. So you've got University of Glasgow B team. So
Sweet.
plenty of Greg BM there. If just the fact that Dobby can't hear me play Dota with him without immediately saying, "What are you doing in my swamp?" Like she doesn't believe
that was fantastically funny though.
She hears his voice and she doesn't believe that he's actually Scottish.
What are you doing in my swamp?
She thinks his voice is too Scottish to actually be a real Scottish accent. The other team is called Friendly Beeps. So it is either University of Glasgow's B team or Friendly Beeps up against Trent next.
Wow. Do you know where Friendly Beeps are from, or is that just an unknown? It's from a university.
Yeah, I'm just going to try and see if I can find out where they're from.
Apparently Dobby has a battery, so she is back.
Oh, it'll be phone battery.
Ah,
Let's see
fantastic.
If I can find out where these guys are
All
from.
coming together. So we're hoping for a stronger performance out of Trent this game.
Definitely.
But it was a seriously solid performance out of the other team. Like, Trent performed well. Like I sounded like I was slamming them through a lot of that game, but a lot of their plays were solid. You know, they managed to isolate the Tinker early. They clearly understood mid how they were going to fight the Tinker. They were straight up with the Forge Spirit, but it was just the little stuff, like the little differences in skill level and the little a lot of it was team oriented. Perhaps the other team had played a bit more together or had been coached more together. I don't know, but a lot of it seemed to come down to the individual play styles of the team. As I pointed out a few times in the game, you found that Trent was grouping in 4 or 5 on one side of the map, or say early on they went for that 5-man rotation onto, or was it a 4-man rotation onto the Tinker mid. Sorry, I just swallowed something. I think it was a fly. They had a 4-man rotation onto the Tinker mid. They managed to take him down, which is fantastic. It was one of the big kills early game. But due to that, they lost both Tier 1 towers and a massive map advantage that just skyrocketed the Phantom Lancer forwards, and they just couldn't deal with him from then onwards. They managed to kill him a few times, but it was just the Phantom Lancer knew when to go in and when to come out. He seemed to struggle more against the Invoker, but against the Gyrocopter, he's used his flat cannon, he's used his ulti, now is my time to go in.
Yeah, he timed every fight really well with a move back, moving forward. We saw a bit in the one in mid where he just knew he could go back in at the right time.
Mm-hmm. And you saw how much damage he did. He slightly miscalculated, and it probably was a bit ballsy of a play, but he took out the Clockwork and the Gyrocopter, and it was only the Disrupt on the back line popping his Thunderclap that actually killed him.
But you mentioned about how maybe it's the fact that the other team have played more. Trent have a guy who's playing this evening who hasn't actually played with them in competitive games yet.
Yeah.
They've got...
what position was he playing in that?
He was the Ogre.
That may have been one of the big reasons for the discourse in the tri lane.
And
Ogre is one of those heroes which you have to be super in their face with.
And
to do that, you have to have faith in your other supports to be with you for that.
Yeah, and Big Nige, who's playing who's on POS 1, the Gyro. This is only his 3rd game with Trent, competitive wise. So
that was a good showing for a team that hasn't had a lot of experience in their team career so far.
It's a very good start.
Yeah, it's good. You know, they had some solid strengths. As I'm sure you know, we've talked about a lot. There were a lot of mistakes made early on, but I think that can be rectified a lot with just more experience. They have the makings of a seriously tough, uni team when it comes down to it.
There's definitely the potential there.
Yeah.
I've just got to gel it together now.
I'm not sure I would have run the tri lane if I was to draft that game. I think if I had picked those heroes, I would have tried to run the 2 dual lanes. Because running a tri lane is strong, but it's less strong when you consider you're up against an Undying. He's one of the very good heroes versus a tri lane, as he just steals so much more strength by having that extra hero there. you then argue, oh, but then would they be able to contest in lane? But they weren't contesting very well in lane anyway. It was something like, as I said, at 15 minutes, it was 112 last hits to 54 on the gyrocopter.
It was just brutal. They that
And for
meant
someone running a defensive tri lane,
you
you would
should
have
be
thought
getting
they'd
more.
have a lot more
You
control
really
of that.
should. It looks like Friendly Beeps is the University of York, I think.
Ah. Yeah.
So it's Glasgow or York.
Man. So Glasgow or York. So the English or the Scottish. Don't know which one I dislike more. Actually, no, I definitely dislike the English more.
Well, that's just unnecessary. You didn't have to say that. How could you, Gary? How could you? Everyone hates the Scottish. Even the Scottish hate the Scottish.
Yeah, but everyone also really hates the English, so...
I'm not going to argue with that.
Well, if you're not English, you hate the English, and then if you are English, you love the English, because you're deluded. Sorry.
No, it's not wrong.
You know, the Welsh people have a strong opinion of the English. Oh wow, they are taking their time to get into this lobby, however.
Yeah, I think officially the games are supposed to start at quarter past, so we're about 5 minutes behind.
And they're not even in the lobby at the moment. Have the other teams finished their game?
I don't think they have. I think it's still waiting on the winner of.
Wow, it's a seriously long game going on then. I wonder if I can find it. Probably not. I wonder how I would go about.
Let's see if I can find.
Yeah, without them posting the match ID, it'll be quite difficult. Ah well.
I don't know if there's a ticket for the like a tournament ticket.
The tournament? No, I don't think it's a registered tournament.
Let's have a look.
Ah well. We can just imagine how they're going and what they're going to be playing.
I personally want Friendly Beeps to win. I want to see Trent play against Friendly Beeps because
they've got such a better name. I mean, come on.
It is my favourite. It's my favourite chat wheel line. Friendly Beeps or Laughing Beeps. All of the Beeps lines they get me right here.
The chat lines are pretty good. I do like the chat lines. You know what always gets me though?
What's that?
The Beastmaster picking up a bounty rune.
What does he say? What?
It's so freaking weird.
No, surely
like, that's not even an over-exaggeration. All his other lines, I'll do this. I am the Beastmaster, and then he just goes. It's so like weirdly out there. You should have a look at it if you have some time because it's freaking hilarious.
Oh, I think I need to see that at some point.
I don't know if they couldn't find the original voice actor or they just were feeling particularly insane that day. I don't know, but it's definitely one of the better ones. And on the topic of good voice lines, like everything from Gyrocopter.
They're all pretty fun.
Yeah, they get off my lawn. You remind me of my old boss. Rot in hell. Yeah, he's fantastic voice lines.
Oh, see, I can't see the lobbies, so I'm gonna guess we're just gonna have to wait to see if see who wins the game.
Hopefully they'll get pulled in soon, and we can. So I'm gonna have a look at the past few games. Unfortunately, I'm only friends with Chris, so I can only judge Chris's past few games. But we know he's a good clock. Yeah, he's always been a good clock.
I mean, I feel the need to check out some of the team names from the NSE teams. There's some really, really good ones. I mean, Banger Banana Mancers is pretty good. I'm loving that. Yeah, Banger Banana Mancers. We've got Bristol Brood Pickers.
Well, that's not giving the game away.
A team that's just called Axe. Yeah, friendly beeps again. Middle mediocre. More than 2 but less than 4.
Oh God.
A team just called Pepe Hands.
I mean, if you're going to choose a team name.
Swansea Storm, Clarity Charity. Sweaty and Ketty. Team Brexit. Brexit confirmed, of course, because it's got tag Brexit and status confirmed. The Boggendorf conspiracy. The Yorkshire Puddings. Warwick Dota Sock. But sock spelt like S-O-C-K.
Okay.
Not even society, just sock. As in an actual sock.
Society of Computing, maybe. But usually if you're acronyming something, you don't put the of.
Yeah, and what's the K for as well?
Oh, it's got a K on it.
It's a
has it?
full-on...
Whoops, apparently I just pulled this into to Battle Cup. That's what I meant to do. I meant to look for lobbies. Big difference. Casually whilst on a stream for for uni games, we do a Battle Cup whilst we're waiting.
Just accidentally Battle Cup. No, I've got to say, I think Friendly Beeps is actually my favourite team name.
Favorite name?
Yeah, I think it's definitely
Man,
Swansea Beeps.
we had a pretty good name when we went for Battle Cup though last weekend.
PFC, Pudge Fried Chicken.
Pudge Fried Chicken.
I also quite like Swansea Storm's Clarity Charity.
Is that a team name?
Yeah, Swansea Storm's Clarity Charity.
Oh, well, that's probably Swansea main. I should ask if they want me to play. They probably won't. I've played them before, but I don't think they were going into that name.
I'm still waiting on Friendly Beeps versus the Uni of Glasgow B team.
Can we not search for Friendly Beeps?
I'm just trying to see if I can find it somehow, yeah.
But they might not have named their team when they played their game. No. Do we know a player who's playing in either of the teams?
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. You've got tetrachloromethane. No, tetrachloromethane.
And you expect me to spell that?
Hang on. Is there a way to search for players?
Well, I'm searching the live games, but it's search heroes to watch.
Ah, okay.
So it's probably not going to work. But we can still try. Or we can have a look at them on have a look at. So it's just tetrachlorine. Methane, is it?
Yeah, the only one that's actually got a link is tetrachloromethane.
Okay, let's have a look on Dota Buff, see if we can find them. Tetrachloromethane.
Oh, I think I might have found them on Dota Buff.
Yeah. Oh, I think I've got them too. Yep. Oh, they've played a lot. Not very high win rate though. And they don't have an esports section to their accounts. They must be
It's been a new team.
or
Not played.
like just
Yeah, not
doing,
played any ticketed.
university
Yeah.
games. Oh wow, his second most played hero is Techies.
What?
Mm-hmm. He is the scum of the earth. I'm very sorry to say this. He is a brood, reeky, Techies, and bounty hunter picker.
Ouch.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes there have to be bad people in life. Man, that's got to be rough. Unfortunately, it doesn't give any kind of identification to who they're playing with. He's played with definitely Kyle a lot this week. Perhaps he's in a team with him.
Let's look at matches. Here we go.
And he is a mid laner, so that's likely. Playing a lot of Storm and Tinker.
He's got some captains mode. Are we looking at the same person? Because this guy's been playing Pudge constantly.
Oh, no then. My guy's been playing all over the place. There's a few Pudges in there. Are there any captains? Yeah, captain's mode playing Pudge 4 days ago.
Oh, maybe we are looking at the same person. I'll see if I can find
And
one.
they lost all the lanes apart from mid. Yeah, that looks like a rough game for them.
We could definitely see. I don't want to base everything on rank, but he was a lower rank than some of the Trent players, so we might actually see a more balanced game, shall we say?
Yeah, not up against two Divines or whatever was on the last team.
Yeah, so the last team had one Immortal player, two Divines, and two Ancients. So, a difficult team to play against, to be sure. But then considering they put up quite a fight, so.
Yeah, no, they did well. And as we said, they're settling into it. They're fairly new as teams go. Yeah, especially if they had an immortal player. Damn. That's like 6K or higher, isn't it?
Yeah,
Man, and for
that
UK
is,
Dota, that's pretty freaking high.
that's pretty high. You're talking like actually decent players there, really. Not that any of the people I've played Uni Dota with haven't been decent players, but you know, we're talking
Yeah, but,
serious
like, high
players now.
MMR
Yeah,
players,
very
that's true.
serious players.
Damn sight higher than I am.
Yeah, it's a long way from me.
We'll get there. We have dreams.
One day,
One day.
believe in the climb.
It's much easier to climb at the moment, though. And I find I'm a lot more confident doing it too, without the physical number like right in my face every time I.
Does make you feel a little better, doesn't it? When the number's not like
The
flashing right in front
techies
of you.
player is tetrachloromethane. But I'm pretty sure that's not a chemical, because if it's a three chemical compound, if it's a three chemical compound, that's definitely what I meant to say. It would have an 8, wouldn't it?
No, you can have
That's what it has, actually.
tetrachloromethane.
Never mind.
Yeah, you can have
I'm thinking of
tetrachloromethane.
it.
I mean, I guess technically he's tetrachloromethane, but
Oh, I missed that. Okay, never mind. I'm clearly dumb. I had my academic hat on. In Dota, you should never have your academic hat
yeah,
on.
don't try and be smart when it comes to Dota, because you just doesn't work. Doesn't work like that.
So this core player of what was the team name again?
Hang on.
Yeah. The enemy team you liked.
Oh, Friendly Beeps. Friendly
Beeps.
Beeps.
The core player. He seems to be all over the place in what he plays. He has 200 games in Slark and a fairly high win rate in them.
I mean, if they end up against Friendly Beeps, I feel like I should warn them. I feel like I should warn them that this guy might play
Should
Slark.
give him a heads up. Oh, I'm sure it'll be fine. They're still not in the lobby. However, Chris has woken up. He is now at his computer.
It does look like all of the games of. Oh, that's last week. Okay, let's try.
Half an hour after they were scheduled to start.
Who's still in the game? We've got. Yeah, it does look like finished. And who won out of Friendly Beeps? Let's have a look. Please say it's Friendly Beeps. Friendly Beeps beat Glasgow. We've got Trent versus Friendly Beeps. Is exactly what I wanted.
Fantastic. Dreams do come true.
Dreams do come true.
So we're looking at maybe techie plays, some Slark pulled out, maybe some Puck, some of these really, really out there heroes. Well, maybe not so much Puck, but,
And
yeah.
you know what? If Trent had beat those guys, they would have been against Swansea Storm, Clarity. So,
And then the Welsh people would have had to beat the English people. Yeah,
but more importantly, we would have had a great name either way.
yeah, of course. Sorry, got to put the patriotism in there.
Gonna fire that patriotism out.
Oh man, yeah. Hopefully that's a good game. Hopefully they won't just bail for the night, and we'll get a lobby soon, and we can be straight in 2 minutes time when we can start watching.
We can, because I can. If it is right, if our deep dives into Dota Buff have actually discovered anything, then hopefully it'll be a more balanced game. We might see some more even plays.
Some more interesting plays, some more back and forth fights. Because there were those back and forth fights, but it turned sharply at like 25-30 minutes in the last game.
They just got squeezed.
Yeah, I think it's when Phantom Lancer said, "Okay, I'm done farming," and it was just shit. What can we do to deal with him? Because he has twice our farm. We need at least 3 people to pin down the one Phantom Lancer.
Makes it a little bit difficult.
Yeah. But hopefully hoping for a different game this match. What do you think they're going to play? Do you think they're going to have learned from the last draft and they're going to have mixed it up a bit? Or do you think they were fairly confident with what they drafted?
I don't think they drafted anything that was too bad, so I think they could well actually pick the exact same thing.
Ooh, they have just disbanded their party.
Yeah,
so
lobby's gone up.
into a
Yeah,
game.
I've just got a message saying the lobby's up.
Fantastic. So it won't be long now.
So I can
And
actually pull
we'll
us
be
into the
ready
lobby
to go
and
into game
everything.
2. And that is Trent Dota versus
Friendly beeps.
Friendly Beeps, is it?
Yeah, it's friendly beeps.
I'll remember it at one point. Yeah. 2 weeks from now, I'll know exactly who it is. And no matter how much you want to, Stu, you can't support Friendly Beeps, all right?
I know I can't. I know I shouldn't.
Oh, we're allowed in, are we?
Yeah, we're actually allowed in the lobby and everything. Make
Yeah, Broadcaster 1.
No, the place people go to die.
Apparently.
No, you got to come in here in the Stu and George show. Oh, I should need to share my link with them as well. Got to get some even more people in the stream.
More people in the stream.
That's it, we need more.
Get that hype going.
I know. I had 60 different people watch the stream at one point last week, or any given point.
60 or 16?
60 different people watch the stream at any given
that's
point.
pretty freaking good.
It's not bad, is it? It's a good effort.
0-for-1 Riki. Who got that?
Nice luck. That was my last game. That was my last game.
Oh, man. So let's have a look at these friendly beeps. So we were right. We've got the Tripster Bear. He is the Slark player. He also plays a fair bit of Spectre, Void, and Terrorblade. Terrorblade might be one of those kind of hit and miss picks that you might see in this kind of game.
Yeah, he is kind of strong
Obviously,
now.
the ever stable Phantom Assassin and Juggernaut's also there. So
Some pretty standard
I feel like if they picked a Terrorblade instead of the Juggernaut last game, they might have had a different game. Problem is, Terrorblade isn't as good versus the Phantom Answer. But I feel like they just needed to get that something to get them ahead. And hopefully we won't see the techies picked up, but I'm sure some people in watching the stream won't mind if techies are picked up.
Just seeing the battle techies, because because John has run it before. I think he has to play mid at the minute, and that'll perhaps be why he's not run the battle techies. But but I wouldn't mind seeing it for a laugh.
So all of the players and the teams are now in.
Might actually see this go.
Yep, we are prepared. Hopefully we'll be in the next few seconds. I still can't believe mine is named. This is where the place people go to die. I don't know if I did that or if it's just like whoever created the lobby had that preset.
Okay, they don't want people live spectating unless they're with NSE. Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
Fair enough. Never mind.
Fine.
Oh, someone. I think that noise just means that someone just followed me. I think.
Yeah, we've just jumped up to 10. Unfortunately, we'll have to be we'll be watching through Dota TV due to the rules of the tournament. However, we'll catch up soon enough.
Yeah, it's only 2
Hopefully
minutes.
this game will get started soon.
Well,
We'll get in. We've been waiting long enough. 25 minutes behind schedule this game.
we will get there. We'll eventually get there.
Yeah.
Well, I should go back into the game sock and get even more people watching.
So I'm wondering why they're not allowing us to stream closer to the time. I know they're probably worried about people
Getting stream sniped.
cheating, but you would have thought they'd like the games to have wider viewership and wider scope.
Yeah, it's a little bit odd, but apparently they've got Chris just messaged me to say that they don't want people watching live, which I think is fair enough, I guess.
Yeah. If they've said there's nothing we can do about it.
They're not wrong. It is in the rules not to do that. So
Yeah.
but never mind.
Steve in with the hard fuck techies. Wouldn't you love to see a techies game though? It would be great. Would be fantastic. It might give Trent their chance to overcome and really shine if they're up against techies, or it might be a diabolic failure.
Yeah, it could be an absolute
It might just
disaster.
be a constant rage of them blowing up over and over again.
Apparently they've messaged the admins and asked about it, but yeah, the admins have said must be spectating, not in the lobby. So never mind. Never mind.
Oh, there they go. Watch game.
There we go. We'll go straight in and watch.
Finally, as I said, 25 minutes after the fact, we've finally got a chance to get in and watch this.
We are getting there, as they say. We've finally made it.
This friendly beeps or friendly boops, I can't remember what. Friendly beeps.
It's friendly beeps.
As I said, they seem to be picking quite unusual heroes, or at least that's their players on Dota Buff tend to pick those heroes. So it could be quite interesting, quite fun. Their support player seems to have played a lot of Earthshaker, so we could look to see that. That's extremely good at the moment. This first position, I'm not really sure about. He's really all over the place. He played 7 games of Darkseer in a row and lost all of them.
Could be. We could see anything there. It sounds like we might have some odd picks, or at least some different ones.
Yeah. I'm hoping for a bit of diversity. It'll definitely throw Trent a curveball, see if they can adapt. I
think when it comes to playing heroes, then you pick what makes you feel comfortable, don't you? Sometimes when you want to win a game, you pick what you feel comfortable on. And
yeah. With us, it's always techies, sniper, invoker, juggernaut, that kind of stuff. Underlord.
Yeah, Underlord.
Underlord's so good and he's so underappreciated. He's really. I'm gonna say he's really good at countering heroes that blink in and stuff like that. The reason he's not picked so much is because Elder Titan does what he does better.
Yeah.
Which is it's the big shame at the moment that one hero is just like straight up better than the other. You find it's happened a few times with heroes like Shaman and Lion having the same problems.
You just get more work out of one hero, and then they fall off too quickly.
Yeah, it's just more value to pick one over the other. Right, so the bans are coming out once again.
Immediate axe ban.
Straight out banned by friendly beeps.
They must have been sweating on Chris's. And then they immediately banned the Wisp.
I love their IO.
The Wisp ban gets banned. The Wisp ban straight away. Not even thinking about it. Immediate Wisp ban on the friendly beeps.
Subtle submarine noises is what they should have called themselves for the friendly beeps.
Invoker gets banned out too. Clockwork gets banned out.
Clockwork banned. Phoenix banned. Invoker.
Do you think they've been checking out their most recent games?
Yeah, some serious respect picks. The Clock Invoker combo is phenomenal. That was some of the major kills from last game were from the Invoker Clock combo.
And again,
Brood,
they just don't like playing against Brood.
They really not want to play against it.
They really don't like Brood. I mean, it's fair enough, I suppose. But I just love the immediate Wisp ban, though. It's just too perfect.
I mean, you couldn't give the game away anymore.
Have you seen the?
They didn't just ban things like combos.
Yeah, immediate Earthshaker.
That'll likely be played by Tetraclaw meme, Methane.
If you open the chat in the game, Chris immediately, come on, bro, please, and they don't even care. They can see that they've been.
Oi. No, this is just bullying.
You should ban my one hero pool. It's Meepo.
It's not BM. It's just banter, right? Ooh, the Jakiro.
Yeah, that's an Anthony hero. He's
It's a good hero, helps with push. Not so good versus the Earthshaker, however, because the Earthshaker can just it doesn't help the scope of the fight, but it's a very good pusher, and it's very good once you've got momentum going.
Yeah, and not being funny, but if they'd added Jakiro in the last game, they could actually hold people off a little.
Oh yeah, it would have made such a difference to the Phantom Lancer, such a difference to everything. Again, no Chaos Knight, no Phantom Lancer being banned out. I would expect to see. Ooh, here's the Ogre.
Nice.
I would expect to see the Chaos Knight this game picked up, if not banned again.
I can certainly see someone picking it up. I mean, you called the PL really early in the last game, which I think you're 100% right about. I think if you're going to pick one, you're going to pick one or the other, really.
Yeah, with the ban on the axe and then the pickup on the Earthshaker, Friendly Beeps could also be pushing for a PL pick at the moment. However, I've got a feeling with their current with their players having looked at their Dota buff, they're unlikely to, but it would be a solid pick, especially with how much they seem to struggle against a PL last game. Trying to
I'm going to fire this out there
because again, I wonder if they're going to run a tri lane.
I'm going to fire this out there because this is a carry that I like to play. Having seen Terrorblade be strong, PL be strong, CK be strong, is there finally a little niche somewhere for Core Naga to come back?
Ooh, I did love Core Naga when it was the thing. I don't know. I really don't know. Because some of the biggest strengths of Naga is the fact her ensnare goes through BKB and is 5 seconds.
Yeah, it's
And for that, you
absolutely
just
brutal.
need 4 levels in ensnare. And that's one of her biggest things. The split pushing with the illusions with Radiance isn't as powerful anymore because of how there was a patch last year or something that massively nerfed illusion damage on heroes and towers. So they just really couldn't do much now. But if you were to play it in the kind of role of a techies where you're just trying to split the map or something like that, not techies, tinker, you could kind of see it, but I couldn't see it as a first position because I couldn't see it just taking over a fight.
Yeah.
Because to me, in a fight, it seems like a discount Spectre.
That's fair. That's very fair.
You try your best and you have to fight really hard to get Radiance onto everyone. And then the only upgrade you have from Spectre is, apart from your ensnare, which is admittedly a good upgrade, is your sleep. And then the sleep is good for running away or initiating with combos. But if you're initiating him with the sleep and then being right in the front and right in the middle, you don't tend to want your core to be right in the middle at the start.
I think the Cottle pickup is actually really interesting. Like,
it's probably going to mean they're going to pick up something like a PA in laning phase, something that they can just keep spamming abilities with. That or like Phoenix has been banned, but he takes health instead. The PL has been banned. The Chaos Knight is still in though, so maybe this phase we'll see it picked up. You know you're going to see a Nuka. It works actually quite well with Necrophos, which I don't see played very much.
I know Necro's been nerfed recently because he was quite popular just after TI, but they nerfed his right click. So if it's a case of wanting right click, then you don't mind. But
Cottle's also really good in tri lanes because he can just support the other support,
yeah,
and then you can have a really solid. So if you play him with like a shaman or something like that, the shaman runs forwards, he hexes, he shackles, and then they get hit by a full strength illuminate from the Cottle, and then the Cottle just gives the shaman more mana, and they do it again when the next people come. I'm hoping that Trent has learnt
Nyx
with their supports, to really pressure the lane, especially when they've picked an ogre.
Yeah,
this Nyx could be really nice.
I mean,
if
you catch the Cottle out, you can just blow him up. You really can.
It also makes a big difference because if you initiate into a fight with your Nyx catching the Earthshaker or the Cottle or something like that, it'll make a massive difference to the whole flow of the fight.
Yeah, on a Cottle, you kind of want to be the instigator. Even if you're not actually initiating on the Cottle, you want to be instigating the fight yourself on your own terms so the Cottle can set up nicely for everything. And like you say, to catch someone out with the Nyx, then yeah, it's definitely good. Apparently, you're a little bit quiet, so we can turn you back up again.
Yeah, I've just bumped it.
Okay, I'll put you back down just a touch.
Yeah, sorry, I was playing with it because I think I was still clipping slightly. I clearly need to have a look at the mic and what's going on with it.
It's changing.
Seems to be picking up my background noise better.
So I keep changing back and forth at the minute because obviously I've gone from casting over Discord to casting with George over my shoulder. So
yeah, no, I can get it. I understand. Just make sure it's taking the right input as my microphone, and not my my pants microphone I plugged in. Oh,
there you
there's
go.
the Chaos Knight.
Now, I'm going
Now
to...
that could be devastating.
No, it could, but I personally love to pick the Medusa into the Chaos Knight.
Seriously good hero.
Can't help but say it. I like the Medusa
However,
here.
mana leak.
Yeah, this is it. You want to play... I love playing the Medusa into the CK because it just shuts him down so quickly. But that mana leak could be a real problem. If you're not ready to just stand still in turret mode, then it's no good.
Well, it's not even just that in this game, because you have to contend with the Chaos Knight pull.
Yeah.
And a 4-staff on the Kotl or whatever. You know, you're going to be out to, low on mana unless the Nyx gets their first and mana burns. Mana burns the Kotl. It'll be a real game of who initiates first, especially with this Chaos Knight, seeing if they can just start getting that momentum going. Because they have enough control. Because if the Nyx was to initiate onto the Chaos Knight, even if he did have his illusions out, he can stun, he can carapace. By that point, an ice path can come from the fog. You know, you might get a chain stun from the ogre, maybe not. But that's a good few seconds stun. If you get some good carries to go with this, you can do some serious damage. However, it is a lot about that counter initiation from the Earthshaker and the Kotl.
Yeah, getting that going right is big. If you can get, if you can lock a couple of people in place, get the CK on top of them, get them bursted out of the game, and then it becomes a very easy team fight when you've just pushed people out of the fight. Or
Yeah, you illuminate the enemy. They get to low health. They start to back off. You Earthshaker to block the path, or even just stun one or two of them, and then the Chaos Knight's on them with his higher movement speed, just rips them to shreds. Even the ogre, a seriously tough hero, won't stand much chance. There's the Medusa. You called it. It's coming out. They're going to have to be really careful about this Kotl of the Light, however. The Kotl of the Light, the Keeper of the Light.
Yeah, well,
the mana burn and the capacity for blinding light to just make her miss everything is really, really rough. She's not going to be able to just go Lincoln's this game.
I'm going to be back in 2 seconds, actually. I just need 2 seconds.
No problem.
It's cool. You'll still see your draft and it'll still hear you, so...
Yeah. That could be... she could just go Lincoln's if she was to go an MKB, which is a seriously good damage item at the moment, and would work quite well against the illusions anyway. Now, into a Medusa with the Invoker banned. Yeah, Invoker was banned second phase. Nyx is gone. Keeper of the Lights is gone. There aren't many mana burn heroes left. Phantom Lance has been banned out. They might go for another hero who builds Diffusal, something like a Terrorblade. We know they play, or a Juggernaut. See what they pick. Abaddon. Interesting. It's definitely an interesting choice. If you go with the he can purge the stun from the Nyx off people. So if they get gone on by the Nyx, he can purge them and 4-staff them away. And he's not picked up in the standard way he's picked up usually here. Usually you pick him up against a Bat Rider or someone with a long stun. So if you get Bat Rided, you can use it and break the lasso, or if they get Beastmaster Roared, you can just use it and just completely null that ability. If he picks something like a Radiance, which I know Stu's a big fan of, he would really struggle versus the Nyx, because the Nyx just has to use his Carapace and the Abaddon will be stunned. There's a ton of little intricacies where his ability doesn't really play in the way you'd like it to. I'm not quite sure what they're planning to do with him, but he's a seriously strong laner, and he's good for running heroes down with heroes like Chaos Knight.
I am back.
Sweet. They picked an Abaddon.
Oh.
I'm not quite sure what they got a Photic Shield for, apart from the Nyx stun. And a Weaver.
Unless it's for
that'll
that.
be why they got it.
Yeah.
To keep the Weaver alive. With the Photic Shield, Weaver should not be able to die. And then if Weaver gets an Ags, Chaos Knight won't be able to die. And at which point, everyone's just crying. It's sad. Won't someone think of the children? All that stuff.
And not only that, but the Weaver, of course, has a mana break talent.
Yeah.
Even worse for Medusa.
Yeah, and... Man. Rough stuff. What are they going to pick? What is their mid lane pick? Or safe lane? They could run the Medusa mid. Who are they running mid? Are they running a Weaver mid? Oh, that is an interesting choice versus a Weaver and a Chaos Knight.
It's brave. It's very brave.
It's seriously brave. And I'm not sure they can even just nuke people down with the Drow Ranger because of the Abaddon. The Drow is just there to give extra damage, and he's only giving extra damage to Medusa because the Jakiro's damage is through ticks.
Yeah.
Magic damage ticks. I'm really dubious about that Drow pick.
I'm not sure it's the right thing, the right pick.
No,
I think the Weaver
can
could
jump
be a
on
real
with
problem.
the Earthshaker with a long range stun. She can just get mana burned, mana broken, and she doesn't have any mana, so she just runs and gets stunned, run down by the Weaver, run down by the Chaos Knight, run down the Abaddon. Anyone plus Kotl or anyone plus Earthshaker can kill the Drow or Weaver just by himself.
It is a
This is definitely gonna be a game of skill.
yeah, it's a bold pick. Let's give him that.
Mm-hmm.
If it works, I can see them just pushing the CK out to the point where he can't farm up enough. If
This
it doesn't,
is also really going to struggle versus the Weaver mid.
yeah,
if
it
this
must be a Weaver
knows what
mid.
he's doing. Because Snake is fantastic. However, to hit the Weaver with the Snake, the Weaver's going to have to be, not paying much attention with his Sakuchis. So the only way to get around that is to get an early sentry ward mid, and that takes a lot of foresight for someone in a game, because he's got so many other things on his mind at the moment. To consider that he needs a sentry ward mid, because usually you don't worry too much about that when you're up against a Weaver, because they come out of invis pretty quick.
It's an immediate puppy pause.
It's usually dust instead, and Weaver's immediately picked up a sentry to counter that if he does go for it. The Weaver clearly knows what he's up to.
Stand up and stretch between games.
Deuce is going straight damage to try and make sure he gets last hits mid. But even so, he's got 8 damage less than this Weaver. And a ton less survivability. This is going to be a rough lane for the Medusa.
Well, while they're paused, we've got time to just take a look at who's playing what. So, on the Radiant side, we have Novichok on the CK. We've got Trips to Bear on the Weaver. We've got Cleaver Guy on the Abaddon. We've got Patrick on the Keeper of the Light. And we've got Tetrachlorameme Thane on the Earthshaker.
I'm glad he's not playing Tech. He's playing playing Earthshaker instead. Oh, PC down.
And then on the Dire side, we've got I'm Thrandir on the Medusa. We've got 7734 on the Jakiro. We've got Acronym on the Drow. Looks like the Drow's heading mid as well.
Drow's going mid. This is going to make a big difference. The silence will have to be taken early, and that'll give some kill potential, but she's got so much less survivability against a Weaver mid.
We've got Zarlok on the Nyx Assassin. We've got Never Go Full Chris on the Ogre.
Man, this mid matchup, I'm really not sure of. It's going to be close. Drow is very reliant on getting level 6 to get any kills mid, whereas the Weaver isn't. The Weaver just needs to get 2 points in his queue, and he will be able to kill that Drow.
And look how
aggressive.
Look how aggressive this is.
Look at this aggressive rotation. I don't know why the Weaver's running before the Earthshaker. It seems really unusual.
It looks like it's been spotted out there. They ping it out.
Yeah, they know what's up. I don't think they're going to contest this. With the Aphotic Shield, it's going to be really difficult, and they're going to end up taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, they lose too much for it to try and fight back for it.
However, they could throw in some damage now. They could throw in a Snake, which would easily get its mana back, bouncing through the heroes. They could throw in a Dual Breath, do some more damage before.
It doesn't get the Snake on 2, and the Weaver's coming in now.
Sakuchi comes in, the Aphotic Shield onto the Earthshaker, which is a weird choice, because now they're just going to beat the heck out of Abaddon. Bounces to the Abaddon. Abaddon's getting low. Jakira's on the high ground. Oh, why did he choose stun? No, he probably could have got the kill if he hadn't stunned.
He's still going to get the kill. The Ignite is going out to the Abaddon.
The Ignite, serious amount of damage.
And he just burns
doesn't
down.
Have his to deny. First blood goes to Trent.
But it is a level 1 Ice Path on the Jakiro.
Yes.
So you are not nearly as useful in the lane.
No,
but
he is now going to have to sit in lane and sap XP. If he had taken Dual Breath, it would have done more as well.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. He had a 1 second stun or a 30% slow for 5 seconds. And he chose the 1 second stun. Ogre playing aggressive, but again, this is one of the really difficult heroes to play aggressive against. Abaddon is just an utter douche when it comes to laning.
Yeah, you just hate it. I mean, I love playing Abaddon, so it doesn't bother me, but to lane against it, yeah.
Aphotic Shield is by far one of the best abilities in the game. We didn't mention that bot Trent secured both of the runes.
And they're going really aggressive as well. The Ogre is now...
He has learned his mistakes from last game.
Well,
He's
it's
playing aggro.
different Ogre.
The Abaddon seems a bit hesitant on who to put the Aphotic Shield on, and they're doing really well. Whoever they drop the shield on, they just ignore and go straight for the next person. And Abaddon's just sitting there punching stuff because he's level 1, he's got nothing.
The change up on the Ogre to swap Chris onto the Ogre, it looks like it's paying off. They're going to go more aggressive. They're going to...
Making a big difference. Bot lane, the Nyx is... he seems to be having trouble. He's only just hit level 2. The Chaos Knight, Chaos Knight and Kotl are both half a level higher than them. Let's have a look at the last hits and denies. So leading at the moment, the safe lanes seem to be pretty even at the moment as, yeah, they're both matched on 9 last hits at the moment. Mid lane seems to be going... Oh, sorry, never mind. I forget. Drow is mid.
Yeah, Drow is mid, yeah.
Medusa is behind by a few last hits.
And
Safe lane. Drow, surprisingly, is absolutely dominating mid. This extra damage he's gained by the Wraith Band and Precision Aura is easily allowing him to outlast hit the Weaver. However, in 2 levels' time, this Weaver is going to become very strong versus this Drow. This Drow is going to be very careful.
Yeah.
Especially with how easily the Earthshaker can gank. This could become very dangerous at night time.
I think it's interesting that they've already got this sentry in mid. Like they want to see anyone coming over for the Weaver, and not only that, they want to stop the sentry coming out to let the Drow silence the Weaver, or even just harass the Weaver.
That's weird. The Weaver started with the sentry as well, so maybe the Drow...
No, it's the Weaver sentry. It's a Radiant sentry.
Oh, sorry. I'm very sorry. Yeah, they definitely want to make sure the Weaver doesn't die. I think it's mostly about de-warding their wards if they get any. This Weaver is playing extremely aggressively with this Sakuchi. He has to be very careful.
They're round on the Abaddon again top, and they're going to block him in. They don't quite have enough to lock him in place, but they're going to keep bashing him, and the stun comes out. Another stun, they've layered it nicely.
He has an Aphotic Shield.
Yeah, he's going to run away.
It purged the burn, but he's got
another burn
applied onto him. I think it'll tank all the damage, but it's going to be close.
Yeah, he just about survives.
40 HP, and this ward behind their tower is just goading them. Laughing at how much health he survived on.
But again, they're far more aggressive. I don't know if Trent has spotted that out, and I don't also know. Trent's ward is just in range.
This Nyx knows how to play against a Kotl. He stands away from the trees when the Illuminate comes. He carapaces, and look at how much life the Kotl's left on after having all of his Illuminates bounce back on him. Seriously low, and this Nyx is just going to stun. He's going to back up. He's going to healing salve because the Chaos Knight has no mana.
He doesn't need to salve with the Tango on. He's got 14 regen. With the Tango off, he's still got like 5 base regen. Nyx's regen is so strong.
Watch again this Illuminate as it comes in. This one might actually kill the Nyx if he's not careful.
Yeah.
Top, there's a fight going on. There was a play onto the Jakiro, but they decided against it. But whilst these plays are going on, these supports are doing what they need to this game. They're pushing the off lane away from the creep wave, allowing the Medusa to not only get free farm but free XP. And because of that, the Medusa's level 4 and the supports are level 2 and 3 respectively.
It's made a huge difference.
Found that they were all leveling at the same level, which was bad because they were just sapping XP off the Medusa, off the core.
But it's making a difference. The extra aggression is making a huge difference. And they're going to run over for a fight at the runes. I don't know if they're going to get the...
No, they have not got either of the wards. They've got bottom rune. They've got 1 rune by the looks of it.
Yeah, Nyx managed to get one.
They are going on the Earthshaker top though. No ignite used yet.
Shielded up. Burnout goes onto the Abaddon.
Again, Aphotic Shield's used and they
Kotl's come up and and now with the Kotl up here. I think the Ogre runs away. Oh, perfect ice bath to stop him from going down. And out comes the snake. Does the Deuce have damage?
Fissure, and I don't think it would have used a manga though. So unless the Chakra Magic would have come out, which I don't think. I think he's been quite selfish with it. Oh, half of Medusa's health with 1 Illuminate.
1 Pony Blast.
So Weaver is now level 5. He is he is in prime position to start getting some kills. However,
Drow's a whole level
with
ahead of
how
him.
well Drow's been doing in lane, she's already hit 6, so this could be a big problem for Weaver. If he goes on for a kill, one mistake, he'll just die.
And he can't use the aggressive...
forward doesn't have enough mana and nearly dies for it.
Yeah, if you Shukuchi too aggressively, you just get bursted down.
Yeah, this Weaver needs to get his head in gear because he's not playing the way he needs to. You can't play that aggro versus a Drow.
Every time the Medusa gets hit by the Illuminate. Every time.
Yeah.
So they're quite happy just having the Nyx solo against the CK.
Yeah.
Oh, they have got the...
didn't get enough XP. They're looking to get a kill on him. I'm surprised at this. I would have thought they'd send him mid to try and help against the Drow. But no. Earthshaker shows bot. He runs towards him, but Nyx just walks away. No fissure to lead in, no anything like that.
Makes the lane even easier for the...
3 points in Reality Rift. That's -5 armor. Nyx has 7 armor. That would be a massive difference in physical resistance.
Oh, and they get around the Abaddon if he's not got the... Oh, he has the mana for shield.
Up, but that's gonna burst. That's gonna pop soon. Have they got an ignite? No.
No,
Ignite.
he's okay. So Ogre just bonks the...
Just
bonks the
every
cord.
time he ignites, it gets purged by the Aphotic Shield. It's such a good counter to this guy. And look at the Medusa. She's sitting on such low health. She just needs to get salve couriered. I'm not sure if she is, though. Let's have a look. What's on the courier? Yep, salve being couriered straight out to Medusa.
The only thing is...
not to have to leave the lane, even though it costs her a bit. She'll lose less gold by doing it that way than she will from going to a shrine or going back to well, if she can land her last hits, which at the moment she can't.
You say about...
There's an attempt on bot.
They've got around on the Earthshaker, and I think he burns. He does. CK gets a return, though.
Did you see that damage from CK?
Yeah.
Like 1 crit, and that's a quarter of Nyx's health just gone. And that's the power of the Reality Rift. He Reality Rifted into a crit, so it's -5 armor on the Nyx, as I said, would have taken him down to 2 armor.
Oh, and they kill the Abaddon top as well.
Awesome.
The snake comes out.
The snake just doing its work, and you know the snake Medusa's practically back up to half mana. It's fantastic. You use this really big, heavy mana ability, and it just bounces straight back.
And you mentioned about using Ignite and being purged off, but the problem is that the Ignite is forcing the Abaddon to use shield when he doesn't want to. He wants to get in your face when he's using the shield because he knows he's safe. And yet, they kill the Jagira bot.
Rotation top. He just walks up lane. He walks right past a ward. They know exactly where he is. They just back off.
And again, the vision, they had some really deep vision, both games. They've had some behind tower, some in really deep positions, and now they really want to go on the Medusa. The Weaver forces the issue, pushes in, bugs come out.
She doesn't have mana for her ult anymore. She took
in comes Jagira.
Had her shield on, but the TP in from
just
the Jagira.
Scared of the Jagira.
Easily salvages this. I'm not sure the Weaver's going to get much here. They don't. Oh, they have a sentry ward on the Ogre. The Ogre doesn't have mana to stun, but this could be really dangerous for the support for Weaver.
Yeah, if the mana's there for the stun now, he needs to be careful.
Yeah, all this skirting about, and the offlane's getting nothing because when they tried to go on the Medusa, they pushed the wave.
And the level 9 Drow.
On the tower, Medusa's just sitting there fine, and the other 2 supports are getting XP from pulls and whatever else they can. The Weaver's just had to TP back home without getting anything done.
And has no mana to Shukuchi away. And he's going to get bursted by the Drow.
He's just gone. Oh. This Weaver really needs to be more mindful of his abilities. I'm not sure he's played much Weaver, unfortunately. He's going treads as well. That's another telltale sign that he hasn't played much Weaver. You're much better off at this point in the game getting a Dragon Lance or something like that for the stats, because you rely on Germinate for attack speed early. And you don't really need movement speed.
Radiant's middle tower
You just want to be able to get out and do stuff earlier.
And with the Weaver having to go back, the Drow can just push with impunity.
Yeah. Just pushing. He's not using his precision aura, but he doesn't need to. Like, look at the damage he does. He's got the highest last hits in the game. He's got practically perfect last hits at 10 minutes. He has 59 last hits at 10 minutes.
Oh dear.
Same with the Chaos Knight.
So...
Which is scary. The Medusa has done well though, which is a big difference.
Just gets Pony Blasted out of the lane though. You know, 1 Pony Blast when she's on low health, and They're going to go around on the Abaddon. I don't think they've got the
They're
damage to
gonna
kill
take
him.
so much damage from that Illuminate. Like, combined, that was just a 600 damage Illuminate.
Yeah, it's
With
killed the
combined
Medusa once
damage.
already. Like, I mean,
Hopefully, this will get the supports level 6 on Jakira and at least level 5 on Ogre.
they're looking to
Getting
go
level
around.
6 on
They're going
Jakira
around the
makes
Nyx.
sense.
They're
Ooh,
in behind
stuns
him.
the Cottle.
Oh, he's stunned the wrong side. Oh well, CK pulls himself onto the other side of him, going to the
I'm
tower.
not sure they're going to get him.
He stuns the Earthshaker.
Try and get the kill, but just takes
Gets
so
himself-
much damage. And then looking top, Ice Path onto the Abaddon. His orthotic shield's down. He just melts, absolutely melts without the heals from Cottle.
And so they trade bot, and they get a kill onto the Medusa top.
Yeah, well, it was a gank on Nick's bot, and they got a kill from it. It's, you know, they seem to be trying to make these plays.
Weaver's coming up again, and it cost him so much last time when he just let the Drow farm 4 levels ahead of the Weaver now. If he sees that
He
Courier,
must feel like he just needs to do something. This is the perfect time. If he sees the Ogre's dead. Come on. But look how little damage he does. It's just without the scarabs on, he just does nothing, and he can't catch with the Courier now, no matter how much he
the
tries.
Drow is in a bad
And
position.
he's used his Sakuchi. He has no way to get away from the Drow. He's on top of the Drow, no Sakuchi, and
Gets caught. Is there detection coming
just
out?
manages to get it off.
There
No
is detection coming out. There
No
is detection
evade.
coming out by. Oh!
Standard Weaver plays, but
Dire's bottom tower is
that
under
could have been played
attack.
better. But seriously, this Weaver isn't having the impact he needs to.
He's half. He has half of the Drow's last hits.
Yeah, it's just he's falling behind. This is great for Trent. Drow's now, yeah, she's got her Morbid. She may have Mask of Madness on the Courier. Nope, just Morbid.
And it's more damage for the Medusa.
Going
This-
for Dragon Lance, getting that Force Staff to get away from. She'll be going for Hurricane Pike to get away from the Weaver when Weaver goes on him.
and they're
or
putting Chris Bot to get him up to 6 as well. And rotating the
this-
Nyx down.
They're doing everything they need to. To get back in this game now, they need Chaos Knight to get this Echo Saber. Then they need to smoke. They need to go with the Earthshaker, and they need to get some kills with it. Because this Earthshaker has nothing. He's been sitting in lane, doing the diligence support.
DD
like
Nyx
he needed to be
bursts
running,
the-
he needed to be.
DD Nyx just burst the Cottle.
Cottle just melts. DD Nyx.
There's just
No hope. Medusa's pushing in top. Snake's bouncing. That's the last of Abaddon's mana gone. He doesn't have mana for his Photic Shield anymore. Weaver's top once again, going on the Medusa. They don't know this time, but Weaver, again, he just mistimes his Sakuchi.
And out comes the
Gets hit by the snake,
Medusa
loses
ult.
his mana.
and the
was
Abaddon
waiting
pops his
for
ult
the,
and stands still.
Well, he was waiting for the Medusa ulti to end, but then he turned and he right-clicked to the Jakiro, who has 7 armor, instead of the Medusa, who had a full duration swarm on it. So who he would have done tons more damage to.
Again, they go on the CK. The stun comes out from the TP's coming in.
Yeah, big fight bot.
CK pops his
Ogre
ult.
playing
One
super
illusion, and they can just disengage.
Ooh, blinding light onto the Ogre.
They're going to chase the Ogre down. He bloodlusts for move speed and runs away.
Is under attack.
Yeah, no mana leak. I'm surprised. Usually people get it as a value point at least. But I guess if you're choosing between Chakra Magic and Illuminate, you know, not much you can do. All of Kottle's abilities are really good. Shakiro
Drow.
keeping tier 2 bot.
Drow is 400 away
Plays
from
the Ogre,
Shadowblade.
Ogre and Vizda. Nyx is coming in. He has Vendetta, but he doesn't have enough mana to do much.
That
Pulls on
sentry
the
spots the Ogre out.
Hero ulti goes down, but they don't
Disengage.
get any control and get hit by a full duration Illuminate on everyone. Now, all these heroes are here, half health.
But
With
the,
no ultis now. Ultis left.
but the whole time they're here, they're not dealing with Medusa.
Yeah. And Drow, level 13 now. Free farming in the jungle, 92 last hits. Net worth of 3.8k, the highest net worth in the game. However, this Chaos Knight has a seriously high net worth as well. Practically tying in net worth, despite being 3 levels lower. That's a dead Jakira. Again, Weaver's fighting without using the swarm, without using his bugs. He also puts points into... he maxes Germinate before he maxes the swarm, which is a very unusual build.
I think, and this is the only thing I can see that explains it. I think he feels weak.
Yeah.
and he wants to be able to hit people more. And
It's a problem a lot of people make with Weaver is your swarm does a lot more damage than your germinate. Your germinate decreases by 1 second each level you put in it. So the first time you do it, it means every 7 seconds you get an additional.
going around on the Abaddon. Ignite comes out. It's a double cast. He gets the stun. He's going to shield himself up.
Project Shield comes out. He has his ulti. Doesn't have any mana cost, so he can just run at them and have no problem with having to have his mana burnt.
Look at the damage that Drow's done to T2 mid.
Wow, this damage does. This Drow does so much damage. Look, the Earthshaker comes along to try and save the Abaddon and just absolutely gets destroyed. The Abaddon runs out of the trees to try and help, but nothing he can do.
The Drow in trouble because of the Weaver.
Caught in it all once
overcomes the Medusa. They've caught them.
Here's the Weaver, just gets controlled.
Seeker comes out and he goes on to the Medusa. There's a crit.
Chaos Knight. Double kill. So much damage.
And this Drow just wants to run away. 15 on the Shadow Blade. They found her. The Weaver's going to look for her. I think the Weaver's making a mistake if he goes for it, though.
I'm not sure.
CK's running up.
Chaos Knight about. This could be bad. This could be really bad with this.
It's just food for the Nyx.
No, Cardle. I'm sorry, but this might be a dead Nyx. He does have his Drow. She doesn't have a force stuff, but she has a Shadow Blade off cooldown. Here comes the
Stun
Nyx.
comes out.
3-person stun.
And that is a dead CK.
They know who it is. He went way too deep and was abandoned by his other heroes.
And now the Drow overtakes the CK and starts getting away.
Yeah, Medusa's free farming bot, no problem at all. She's going Mjolnir or Maelstrom at the moment.
And yeah,
Standard,
and has it basically.
Imagine a Lincoln straight after.
I would have thought she'd go for the Ags and just really punish the CK.
I think Lincoln's is more important this game because she can save herself from being pulled in by the Chaos Knight, or mana drained, or mana broken.
True, very true.
Two, like really big things, and she can also pop it on the Drow if she has to. But Ags is also seriously good, but I think survivability is probably more important than being able to control the CK.
I mean, the Ags could come pretty quickly given how well she's farming. So
yeah, with this Maelstrom.
If she could go Lincoln's first.
Oh, once again, the Cottle just melts to the Dagon and the Nyx now.
She's just food, and he's queued up Dagon 5. He's going straight for it.
Abaddon's getting free farm in the jungle. He's going Vlad's for some reason. No one knows why. Vlad's is usually Vlad's damage amp works by increasing their base damage, not their damage after increases. So you usually buy it when you have heroes like Morphling or Drow or stuff like that has a lot of stat-based damage. On
CK on Weaver,
they don't have much of that. Both the Weaver and the Chaos Knight tend to do damage through actual item damage, apart from possibly Chaos Knight if you go like the Heart build. But you know.
Nice little exchange there.
Yeah, standard combos. So everyone's starting to get farmed now. Earthshaker's working towards his Blink Dagger. He went back for a Magic Wand. Not quite sure about that one. I'm not sure if it was value. But I'm sure we'll find that out soon enough. Jakiro's out trying to ward. Being pinged out by Chaos Knight. They know exactly where he is.
Yeah, and they were pinging the Drow out in mid earlier. The Weaver was just sat on the high ground, invisible, pinging the Drow out like, we need to go on it, and then no one came. And he can't go on his own.
No. This is something again we saw last game, but it's inverted this time. We saw that all of Trent was in one side of the map, and if you look now, all of Beep is right around the Roche pit. I know they're going to make a play now, but they've been around there for the last few minutes. And
yeah, all 5 surround the Medusa.
This might be it for Medusa. They have the slow, they have the...
Out comes the ult and the...
Ulti, where's her TP? She needs the TP now.
Doesn't need to TP now, the ult has worked. In comes the Jakiro, not enough damage.
Take more, it's a big fight. What are you doing? It's all ogre. It's all ogre. By TPing in more, you can see the damage by the swarm. Look how much more damage they're taking. That was not a rough engagement. If the Medusa had just TP'd when she'd turned them all to stone, it would have been a completely different game. That different engagement.
It's a 3-for-1 trade. It's I mean the Earthshaker goes down and
for Beep. It's a real big.
But look how much they used. They used well.
But even with 5 people there, they didn't hold their stuns. They didn't hold their control. They could have lost the Medusa there. If the Medusa hadn't chosen to stay and fight, even with 5 of them there, she could have got away. Beep really needs to be wary of this. They need to make sure they have their control. They need to save the Earthshaker's stuns. Because 5 seconds on Enchant Totem might not seem like much, but to TP to well, it's what, 3 seconds?
Yeah.
If that. Oh, look at this Vendetta Nyx, and look who's right next to him. A Weaver with no mana.
This could be a disaster.
Very sad. He has enough to ulti, but he doesn't then have enough to Sakuchi. Oh, but look, there's better prey nearby.
And out comes the Dagon. Gets caught on the wrong side of the stun, but
yeah, no,
the Medusa backup is there.
Look how much damage that that Cottle just took. It might. Oh, it doesn't quite die from the burn. Oh, and the Ice Path slightly too late to save the Nyx.
So that is a 500 gold on. That's 500 gold onto the CK for killing that 5 kill streak. What are you doing staying there, Medusa?
That is big. This Medusa, she needs to learn to get out. She doesn't have a TP now. She has no mana, no mango, no nothing. Oh!
They get the CK though, and the Drow's come down in time, and this is a nice, easy clean-up for the Drow.
Oh, and this is the end of the Abaddon. That's going to be a 5-man wipe. This Drow just comes over and just does so much damage.
And that is a wipe.
Just this Drow is level 18 now, with 2,500 more net worth than the highest net worth on the enemy team. She has nearly double the net worth of the second highest net worth on the enemy team. And she is 4 levels higher than the Chaos Knight.
We even saw a little bit of BM coming out there from the Chikiro, dropping the taunt before TPing away. And the Drow is in a danger.
Again, this Weaver playing far too bold. You know, he comes out of Sakuchi, he gets stunned by the Nyx invis, he gets silenced by the Drow. Or if they even had detection there, he would have just fed after respawning. The Nyx is looking for kills. He might see this this Weaver again.
Doesn't quite catch him.
Decides to leave.
And I think Trent are considering the Roche. They've got vision around it. They need to get rid of that water.
They want to try and take an objective first. At the moment, if they take Roche, they'll be opening themselves to, as far as they're aware, you know, I was going to say an Echo Slam, but that's on cooldown. But they know Chaos Knight has his ulti. They know Cottle is just an absolute dick when it comes to Roche with Blinding Light.
And it's not a Lincoln's, it's not an Axe that's coming out from the Medusa. It's Scardy. She's rushing this great Scardy.
Interesting. That doesn't solve any of the problems.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't. It tanks you up, but you don't need to tank up. You need to survive the CK.
You don't need damage either. You need a survivability item, so a BKB, an Ags, or a Lincoln. But you know, we'll see. For all we know, it may prove to be the best item she could get.
Yeah,
but I think not getting pulled by the Chaos Knight or getting mana broken is very important.
The only thing I can think is that she. You know, she's not that concerned by or she thinks the pull will just break the Lincolns too often. That's the only reason I can think of.
Well, what do they have to break the Lincolns? They have the stun, the pull, the mana break. That's it. That's all they have to break Lincolns. And
and they're going to burst the Weaver.
Oh, it's so sad.
And that is
level 1 Dagon. He's going back for 4-star first, which I think is definitely a good choice. A lot of people just go straight for the second Dagon. Ooh, the Drow invis up top by the Abaddon. TB's coming in to see if they can help him. This is going to be a really difficult kill. The slowing arrows coming out. A Photic shield to purge the slow. Still just getting chipped down. Silences him. His ulti comes off.
Why is he running back in? And the Nyx is behind.
Choice. His ulti drops and he just melts. Unfortunately, Nyx didn't see the castle before he used his ulti.
Nyx is seeing a whole lot of the CK now. And
oh no!
oh, and the Jakiro caught on the wrong side.
Shut in from the Earthshaker. But look how slow he is. There's just so much capacity to kite this.
Chris, do not go that way. Do not go that way.
he has a Ghost Scepter. So as long as Earthshaker spams all his stuns. Oh, he has a blink. Earthshaker has a blink. This could be it.
Oh! Push it.
Ah, well. Weaver's coming back. They're going to try and push for more. This might be too ballsy. There is an ulti on the Chaos Knight, though. Oh, look how tanky he is. The Drow's just hitting him. You know, as powerful as the Drow is, and just not getting anywhere.
Yeah.
Because the Drow is built mostly survivability items. There's the Ghost Scepter value coming out. But
he's going to stay alive a little longer, but not long enough.
And the dust comes
out.
Oh, they might be able to get the pull. Oh, no, the pull comes out. There's a Force Staff. That's just the value of how much farm she's been getting. You know, if she had had any less farm,
it's not even just a Force Staff; it's a pike. I don't think they realise the Nyx is in behind here.
Oh, look at how much damage
the CK just bursts him.
And Drow just doesn't know who to attack.
And
but whilst this is happening, there's a Medusa, level 18 now, with a full Skadi, Mask of Madness, and Maelstrom just attacking bot tower.
Just drops the tower in.
And she's going back for the BKB now. Which
10 seconds, 15 seconds.
I think I would have gone for Lincoln's instead, but BKB is really good versus the stun control.
And she's not backing up. She's still going.
No, she doesn't have to, because what, they're gonna take the tier 2 with this single Abden hitting it. Here comes over the CK, so they can take it now. But if Medusa can do even a little bit of damage to this high ground tower,
Drow has gone too far. Can she kill the CK in time? Yes. The Weaver goes onto her. Chris just running at the Abaddon. The Medusa is in behind.
Onto the shrine. She's slowing up everyone just by existing. Decides to focus on the Abaddon.
The Abaddon can't get away. The Skadi is so strong.
And the Skadi showing its value there, running down the Abaddon, preventing him from running. So the Frost Arrows and the Skadi, it's just a complete slow day at the moment.
Try moving, punk.
The cores and trends. There's not much not much that Boop can do.
And the Drow now doubling at 28 minutes, doubling the Weaver's net worth basically.
Yeah, Kotl isn't even close to getting his Ags, which is the next item they really need to get this game going, so they can actually push and not be scared of just the Drow shredding.
The Drow just ripping the Roche down.
Yeah. It's another game where they know what kind of damage the enemy's going to be doing. They know they're going to be taking burst damage from the Nyx. They know they're going to be taking a large amount of physical damage from the amplification from the Medusa, but you haven't seen any solid armor items come out from Beep, or anything like or any common use of stuff like raindrops, which would make a massive difference against the Nyx. You wouldn't die to the Nyx nuke if you had raindrops.
The CK knows the Nyx is invis around here because you've watched him go, but and if they get the CK out of position here, it could be devastating.
If they work this out, but looks like he might just be able to get the pull onto the Drow. This could be really bad. Yeah,
he comes down the high ground.
It's done before he can get anything, but the ice path there to counter it.
Force up the cliff.
He has Mask of Madness. She is healing up, but it's so slow. The CK is just on top of her.
Pushes the illusions away. He's going to burst down the. He's not going to burst down the Jakiro. And now
Abaddon's no ulti anymore.
Whoa!
Earthshaker jumps onto the Drow, kills the Drow. Drow back up because of the
Aegis.
It's a 3v4.
Nyx on the right side of it.
High ground. They might be able to get Earthshaker on the back line. The Nyx playing everything properly, getting the carapace right timing.
And look at the damage into mid. Drow and Deuce are hitting it. Out come the bugs.
It's just so much
damage. They don't care.
I haven't seen Drow use her aura yet this game either. Oh, no, as I say, she pushes the button. Never mind.
Caster's Curse.
Yep. I was looking at it top and bottom when they were taking tier 1. They had like 2 siege creeps and a range creep attacking it, and she hadn't used her aura. But just look how quickly they rip through it. This is a Drow strat, and you know, well, it's a Drow with bloodlust is what it is. Oh, Drow's deciding she's going to bail. Medusa's deciding she's going to stay around. A nice 4-man stun from the Nyx.
They all turn.
To get out though. They're looking for the pull from the Chaos Knight, but they're just not fast enough.
I like that they all left it on with one attack to go. All went to walk away. All turned back. All walked away again.
Yeah.
And 6k on the Drow.
Man. But they have high ground now. I'm surprised they didn't try to take the enemy jungle shrine and then gain control of that whilst they were on their way back. But clearly they were worried that the Chaos Knight would catch up with them.
It's 15k net worth on Trent.
There's an 18k difference, but even so, I feel like they still have a really good chance of winning this beep.
Make that nearly
And
20k.
I think it's just through Trent's understanding that they aren't, this isn't a one game. This is they have a massive respect for the enemy team and are definitely playing it safe.
Well, Trent might have the respect, but Dota Plus does not. 2% victory chance for friendly
Wow.
beeps.
It's this Weaver, man. He just doesn't do anything. He went Diffusal Blade to deal with the Medusa. Despite the fact Weaver doesn't really hit that quickly. I know everyone thinks Germinate's great because it doubles your attack, but his attack rate's actually quite slow apart from that. That's why you usually build negative armor and stuff like that, so you then hit really hard.
Yeah, you want your quick attacks to burst, and then
This might be it for Weaver. Hit the Dagon. Oh, manages to get his, and there's the mana break. He force zaps himself and runs out of mana.
yeah. Do they want to go for this though? Here, in comes the Drow.
Nyx has no mana. He literally cannot do anything this fight just because of that mana.
Oh,
burst.
they're gonna burst. 2 heroes. The Juicer Rock comes out. The Drow
Not a good fight
escapes.
for Trent. Trent need to get out of here.
No, the Drow doesn't escape.
Oh, this is bad. The Medusa is strong with her BKB up, but that Chaos Knight with a Photic Shield coming up soon. Medusa just isn't running out of mana though. Just the amount of damage.
More than 2 kills.
Chaos Knight's just gonna die to her.
He just can't stop her from hitting him. And
The Mjolnir, he just hasn't got the damage. And look at this Weaver, just a few hits and he dies. And that's without Drow Oro. They need to get the mana burn on him.
Oh,
And they're up. There's the
yeah.
mana burn into pull. That's the end of Medusa. Got far too confident with herself. Didn't buy out before death. So, unfortunately, she bought a Chrysalis right after dying, so she no longer has buyback. Clearly confident enough that she's not going to need to buy back in the next few minutes. Because top lane's pushed far too far out.
will that be a Bloodthorn to the Medusa?
No, I think it'll be a Daedalus because everyone's going BKBs apart from Weaver, but Weavers tend to go Lincoln Sphere. Oh, Weaver's going BKB now. But seeing as Medusa doesn't know that, she might, but I don't think so. Because as soon as she gets close enough to deal with an Earthshaker, an Earthshaker will already be on top of her doing her stuff. And doing its stuff.
Trent ping out the CK.
Yeah, this CK is way out of position, just trying to work out what he wants to do next. But Trent, this is just going to be a sit back, gain control of the map, take out the second shrine, and just wait for next Roche.
And
put it on
Nyx-
Medusa and just tank her way up mid.
Nyx has started the Scythe. Not going back for Dagon 5, starts the Scythe.
I like that. I think that's a good choice. Good choice. However, it doesn't help against the Weaver's BKB that's coming out.
This is not the fight to take for Trent.
Oh no, I think they have the high ground vision. They might find this actually helps them. Be
I
quite
think
beneficial.
they don't want to fight
don't
without
have
the Medusa.
CK ulti. CK's really hesitant to fight for the next 10 seconds. They have Echo Slam though, but because of the high ground vision Trent has,
they just have
it's
to be
gonna
scared
really
away.
difficult to get in a position for it without a smoke. They're going to try and go on the next illusion. Surely they worked out by the fact it stopped moving.
They lose the Earthshaker.
Yeah. Okay, so Scythe on Nyx. I say I like it, and that's because CK's ulti, his BKB is down to 6 seconds now. However, it just doesn't seem to do what they need it to do at the moment. Maybe a nullifier, I think, would be better. A nullifier and mute the Chaos Knight, preventing him from
The
using
BKB.
his BKBs and his armlet toggles and his.
I don't,
Going for a halberd now.
see, I don't think they're going to have the burst to take him out in the Hex as much as they're
No.
going to get a lot of damage in. They're not going to burst him in that. So I think you're right. I think the nullifier means they don't have to worry about the BKB, which means they can spend a bit more time controlling him, a bit more time bursting him. I think you get more time overall.
Yeah, the Hex gives them the better capacity for Nyx to go on someone, and then for the Jakiro and the Ogre to make their way over. So it gives them a longer period for that to happen. But they seem to have been pretty on the point with their rotations that supports this game. So the Nyx is on something, and by the time his stun's over, there's a Jakiro Ice Path there, or there's an Ogre stun. There's a Fire Blast.
I just want to have a quick look because you have had 7 chances to get yourself a keyring by slamming Goblin into the chat, and you've had 5 chances to get yourself a keyring by slamming Feels Bad Man in the chat, and we have still had no one win a keyring just yet.
Hang on, I need to do it. I need to do it before anyone else gets the idea.
You've got to wait for someone to die. You've got to wait for someone to die.
Oh, okay. I'll leave it written in the text box.
So where are we? We've got Weaver looking to buy the BKB, 4k already, not that far off.
There's a 21k difference at the moment. Which one of these buttons is the XP graph? The XP is pulling back towards Aya. Apparently that's their team name.
They are 21k ahead.
On 20. And they're looking to see if Roche is back up by the looks of it.
And they've still got 2 minutes on there.
Yep, they're going to be waiting a few minutes if they set a support to wait for it. They seem a bit lost as to what to do now. They've given up their massive amount of control on the map for a single push on the last lane. I'm not sure how wise this is. I mean, we saw how long it took them to kill Medusa, and now she's hit 25 after that fight. So now all of her split shots have Scardion. All of them have Lifesteal. All of them have Mjolnir.
All of them have crits.
Yeah, she's suddenly got a lot more powerful. But I don't know. Maybe it's just me being scared. But I think I would go Roche. But with the Drow behind, there's not much that can go wrong. Although they are grouping up right now, and there's an Earthshaker with an ulti.
Trent!
That's easy.
Oh, Trent!
4-man. Come on, Earthshaker! There was a 5-man stun.
And he's sort of in the middle of all of it and just gets bursted down. The Nyx stays alive somehow. The Ogre stays alive somehow.
Back on Chaos Knight, that is game. Yeah, unfortunately now, no matter how much this Weaver tries running in 1v5, even gets hit by the silence.
Yeah, out comes the GG.
GG, there we are. Yeah, no, that was a good game, but the Weaver just didn't get the legs he needed. They just didn't quite have the control. And of course, Trent did play very well.
Yeah, the Nyx really winning the lane against the CK was big. And then having the options.
He didn't win. The CK got very good farm, but the Nyx got the levels he needed, and then the Nyx used that, and he just chased the Cartel. And then whenever he saw the Weaver after he got his Dagon, the Weaver was just food. But just by buying a Bracer and a Raindrop, that Weaver would never have died to the Nyx.
And not only that, but the way. I hate to dick on the Weaver again, but he tried going too aggressive on the Drow every time. The Drow was just going to wait for him to come at him, push him away with the.
Yeah, one of the big problems was that Drow hit level 6 a lot sooner than Weaver did mid.
And it just made it.
Yeah, Weaver had a good chance if he had gone a few levels in Swarm and just gone at the Drow early, but with her getting her ulti and having, with his Sakuchi usage, where he would Sakuchi up and then run out when he was up there and then just get frost arrowed while he was trying to run away, he just didn't have much chance.
Yeah.
I think he needs to watch a few pro Weaver games, see how they do it.
Because he was targeting the right people as well. And when it was at the team fights, he was targeting the right people, but he couldn't get there because the Drow would just go on him so quickly.
Yeah. I'm not sure about the Diffusal Blade pickup either. If he had gone Hurricane Pike, he could have comboed with the Keeper of the Light. They could have mana broke the Medusa. They could have Force-staffed with the Weaver. You would have got a few hits off, possibly got proc from Maelstrom, and then you could have Sakuchi because you were far enough away, and then just reset and do it again. With the Diffusal Blade, I mean, it's a good stat item, but I don't think you just have the attack speed to do that. especially with Maelstrom not having an attack speed buff anymore. I know you went, I know you went power treads to alleviate some of that, but it still just seemed a bit disjointed. The Chaos Knight came out strong, but they just didn't have enough control, and the Medusa just got way too big.
And Steve in the chat, Trent won. What the fuck? Hacks 322. Fuck the Goblin. Easy for Trent.
I didn't get Goblin because they didn't die.
He didn't get Goblin. He did. He died just before the end of the game.
Just before the end. Oh well, Ash got it then.
Oh, so that's George. George has already got a keyring. He had one made for him.
Chris wants to join the party.
Well, I suppose we'll let Chris. He's the only one who stayed on. It looks like.
I'm not going to be playing, but.
So it looks like everyone else left the game. But yeah, that was yeah. It was nice to see. It was nice to see Trent get another one loss, one win, and you know it means they're still. Well, it's two for two, so 2 wins, 2 losses, and
yeah,
they're not. I don't think it'll be enough to put them in the top bracket to get into the knockout stage, but they'll still play in the Swiss. They'll
respectable. It's they're a solid team.
And we'll,
and they'll get better. They'll only get better. Those were some. Even the first game had like the potential to turn around. It was good. Good Dota.
Yeah, it was good to see that, and yeah, they weren't out of the first game by any means either. So we will we'll see how they get on next week, and yeah, it's been a very enjoyable stream, and we'll catch you all next week.
I won't.
Gary might not because
I'm being replaced. It's so sad.
It will become the Stu and George show again next week, but Gary has been a very capable co-host, and thank you very much, Gary.
Yeah, sorry I was so loud.
Oh yeah, Gary was quite loud in the first game, but you know we're getting through the teething problems.
Mm-hmm.
And I've also just noticed the live chat box just still does not work. So
yeah, it didn't work in the first stream, but I didn't feel like telling you. You seem to be having other technical problems.
Yeah, rip. But we will get there. We'll get there next week. Live chat box.
Hopefully.
No technical problems. It's going to be spot on. We're going to have a spot on stream next week. So
and then we'll be able to go full screen and then still spot the goblin.
Yeah, and then we'll actually see some goblins, and someone might win a keyring next week.
Man, well, I missed my chance. I'll just have to win it next week.
Next week, Gary. Next week you can win it. But yeah, that is it for us, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and watch next week.
Oh, there was a Feels Bad Man, sorry. There was a Feels Bad Man.
There was a Feels Bad Man. Who got the Feels Bad Man in?
By Stacky.
Oh, that's Chris.
Oh, well, then.
Chris can't win a keyring when he dies himself.
Well, if he was calling himself when he died.
He also already has a keyring as well. So.
Damn it, Chris. Stop confusing me. Stu was signing off and he just confused me and I spoilt it all. He had this whole thing planned out.
Every week, I say every week. It's been 2 weeks. Both weeks, I've tried to end the stream, and it's died